what is going on? We have a very special episode. It's like we're going back in time once again. Yes, it's a recorded episode. We're doing this on a Sunday because of Live Plus. Also, we have a very special guest who will join us on the show in just a bit, But right now, it is Mr. Young.
And it's for in the building, bro. Coming to you live. I mean, technically for us, it's live. It's on a Sunday.
Sure.
But guys, I mean, there's a reason behind it because literally we are like 12 hours post GrappleMAX Causeway Jam.
Oh my goodness.
So the thoughts are pretty fresh in our head. We want to quickly punch out this review and of course preview Elimination Chamber, which is happening this coming weekend, bro. I'm so excited, man.
How crazy is it that you are actually going to be there? You are going to be there to see potentially, maybe The Rock? I know they haven't advertised The Rock being there, but I mean, come on, this is the road to WrestleMania. He's got to be there, right?
Of course. I mean, okay, first of all, there's a couple of things that I'm excited for. So, one thing that's happening is Undertaker is going to be there. So, yes. I'm actually going to catch his One Dead Man show. So, that's really a bucket list item of, striking off, right?
Yeah.
And so, I've heard as well, I mean, I think on SmackDown, they announced that they're going to hold an open press conference to the public outside Optus Stadium, and it's on that same day as well. So I'm gonna spend my Friday lunchtime, hopefully seeing Triple H, hopefully seeing all the stars, the Bloodline. Maybe The Rock might appear at that press conference. Who knows, right?
Yep.
And then in the afternoon, I'm gonna take a quick Grab or Uber. I think they use Uber over there. Over to Fremantle Prison, where they're going to have that One Dead Man show.
Yep.
And then from the prison, I'm going to take another Uber. I'm going to rush all the way down to the superstar dinner. So they're going to have like a meet and greet with the superstars and a dinner with the superstars. So it's going to be a crazy... As a wrestling fan, I'm being fed good, bro, this week.
Absolutely. Actually, though, like just looking at the card, right? Yes, the Bloodline are not involved. So that's the other thing. Like, would you be highly disappointed if Roman and The Rock did not show up?
Yeah, of course. I mean, First of all, bro, if you are in Australia and then WWE come once in a blue moon, right?
Yeah.
There must be a reason why WWE were willing to travel 23 hours to hold a show there. They gotta have some big stuff planned, right?
Wow, yeah, that is 100% true. I think part of why they did that was because Perth paid them a lot of money. But let's be real, I don't know if part of that contract requires a top tier guy like a Rock or Roman Reigns. I mean, CM Punk was originally supposed to come down there, right? But injury and everything. And who knows, maybe he might come down as a special guest commentator or something.
Yeah, I mean, okay, first of all, I would agree with you. Normally, if this was like a show that was on any other time of the year, Super Showdown happened in October last time. Even then, I got to see Triple H versus Undertaker and Shawn Michaels there. So, I mean, we got well fed still.
Wait,
right?
Hang on. That was the one with Kane and then his hair fell off and then...
Oh, okay. So, that was Crown Jewel. So, that was before the debacle of Crown Jewel.
Okay.
But before that, they set up the match there. They set up the match there, I remember, right?
Okay.
So I would usually agree if like it's not storyline important, but bro, this is Elimination Chamber. This is literally the pay-per-view before WrestleMania. They gotta be having some sort of angle happening.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
We'll go with that. I just don't want to get your hopes too high, bro.
It's okay, bro. It's okay. My hopes I can manage. I'm a big boy. I can go back to the hotel and cry after that if The Rock didn't appear. But I still want Cody to be there, and I'll hopefully I get to see Cody for sure. So it's gonna be great. Randy Orton, my guy, for the first time ever, I'm gonna see him live.
There you go.
Elimination Chamber.
So, you got Drew. Okay. We're getting ahead of ourselves because we're gonna be previewing Elimination Chamber a little bit later on with our special guest. You know what? We can reveal it right now because it's first of all on the scroller at the bottom you see there, but also it's very interesting how this whole thing came about. It's literally a case of sliding into people's DMs, bro.
I haven't done that since I was single, but and it's also my first time sliding into a man's DM. But you know what? It's worth it, bro. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
So can we give some context, bro?
Oh yeah, of course. Because the whole thing with what we've been doing, right? And we've always said this to each other, man. If there were more quote unquote mainstream outlets out there championing the cause of pro wrestling, because we talk about it, and then sometimes wrestling has always occupied that space of we love it, but we're very quiet about it. We don't broadcast it. Not like us. Bro, we are just out there, right? And then we are like, okay, we're quite used to and we're done with the whole, hey, it's fake, right? That kind of stuff, right? But one day, we saw that SGAG, yes, the local humor page, they started posting a lot of wrestling-related memes. And maybe it's because of The Rock coming back and WWE's product becoming ultra mainstream again. But we started to see, Yeah, posting a lot of WWE memes. And then my guy over here, Foreign, he goes in the comment section, say, hey, shout out to all the Singapore pro wrestling fans. Who's the closet wrestling fan over there?
Yeah. Who's the admin? Tell me who the admin is. I'll track him down. That's what I said.
Yes, and then we found out it was Sean from SGAG. Super funny guy if you've seen his content as well. And in just a bit, we're going to get him on the show to talk about his love of wrestling. And I hear that he's going to be in Elimination... Well, not in the Elimination Chamber, sorry. At Elimination Chamber as well.
Bro, SGAG versus Mothership versus all the other... all in the Elimination Chamber match, bro. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, that's going to be it. But yeah, we're going to pick his brain and find out what he feels about the wrestling industry. And, you know, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun chatting with a fellow wrestling fan in the media industry.
And I'm excited to see as well. Like, I mean, of course, he repurposed a lot of the memes, wrestling memes for CNY. So he has that skill set that we are trying to master, which is to somehow slot in a bit of wrestling into the mainstream in Singapore, you know, into the media consciousness. So I would love to pick his brain about his thoughts on that, like how he uses wrestling in his marketing and how he approaches his profession as a wrestling fan. You know, because we have both been inspired by wrestling in how we approach the work that we do in our daily life as well, right?
Absolutely. So, okay, we'll get to that in a little short while. But first things first, if you haven't already, hey, check out our Patreon page. Okay, Patreons, we have something very special that are going on. We'll talk about it in just a bit. As far as Singapore wrestlers are concerned in Singapore wrestling, if you love it, hey, we encourage you to join our Patreon and also contribute to the local scene in a very special way that we'll talk about a bit later on.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm shout out to all the people who was there at GrappleMAX yesterday. It's not just us local wrestling fans supporting the scene in Singapore. We are also welcoming our friends, our neighbors over the Causeway from Malaysia. And my PW was there, so it was a little bit of a regional war, or not say war, but maybe I'm jumping ahead of my gun, but it's fun times here in the region as well.
It's always like this. Every time it's like wrestling 101. You pick country versus country, right? It's not even wrestling, it's sports 101 if you think about it. But yes, all that good stuff in just a bit. But the Patreon, like I mentioned, we also have a Discord channel where you can come and chat with like-minded wrestling fans. I mean, we got AEW fans there too. I know, I haven't watched AEW in a long time, but if you're still hanging on to dear life, hoping that product will actually mean a day. I mean, you love pro wrestling. Okay, I'm just yanking you. Wait, that sounded very wrong. I'm just playing. Anyway, the point is you can always jump into our Discord and join in the conversation, have a little fun with us, okay? All right, all that kind of stuff out of the way. Let's talk about this weekend. Not even this weekend, just last night, bro. Causeway Jam at GrappleMAX Wrestling Studios.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was an amazing night. I think this is like our first local show that we're attending together. I mean, it's nice to be in the same attendance as you, Mr. Yang, because usually, because of our schedules, it's really hard to get both of us in the same place.
Of the year, lah. Come on. Last year, we had 1 or 2 together also, lah.
Can. But I mean, it was fun. It was a sold-out crowd. So shout out to GrappleMAX. I think they really love the whole concept of having Malaysia versus Singapore, having Malaysian wrestlers being part of matches here in Singapore. So I think that was an appeal. It's also really nice to see other wrestlers from other promotions. I think we saw Butcherman. We saw Big Good Jack from SPW coming to support. So it felt almost like like first day of school like that. Right? First day of school, and that's how GrappleMAX marketed themselves. It's like literally their season premiere as well.
Yes. Okay, that aside, shall we jump into the card proper?
Yes, but I think I should preface by talking very briefly about that Patreon value add, because it leads into how both of us actually approach watching the show last night, right, Mr. Yang? Yeah. So for those of you who were listening last episode, we officially announced the Kick to the Gut Singapore Wrestler Top 20, or how I would dub it, the SW20. So it's our very own version of PWI 500, right, Mr. Yang?
Yes.
Yeah, so we are gonna go to attend as much shows as we can. We are encouraging our Patreon members to attend shows from SPW, GrappleMAX, Ring of Rebirth, and we would want us to give match ratings. But I wouldn't say match ratings per se, because we're not just grading the match, we are grading the wrestlers specifically. So we're giving star rating to the wrestlers in a way, Mr. Yang?
Absolutely. So you look at things like performance, position on the card, potential sort of, storyline progressions. We look at stuff like whether they won or not. you know,
Correct. So like prestige, popularity,
championship. Yeah,
character, and I would say was it match quality? I can't remember what was my.
sure.
But
Hey,
we
excuse
will
me,
get
it's your
used to it.
list.
We will get used to it. We will get used to it. But oh, in ring work, yes, in ring
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
So, but essentially, we are trying to see and give our feedback in a very constructive way.
Yeah.
How our wrestlers are being performed. We're evaluating them, but I wouldn't want to put pressure on the local wrestlers as well to like,
No.
because we met one guy, DJ Cal, who's
Yeah.
I think kind of on a hiatus. We kind of talked to him and he heard about the ranking. Yeah, and then we're catching up. He was telling me, oh. No, I heard about your ranking, man. Now I have to jump off a ladder already, lah.
Hey, no. Hey,
No,
we've
no.
please don't do that. And we've talked about it before. How
Yeah.
a lot of these wrestlers in the US they try to work towards getting a star rating from Dave Meltzer, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry. First of all, if you're wondering about Mr. Young, it's like you know where I stand with pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, flippy shit. Well, I mean, if it calls for it, it calls for it, right? But flippy shit doesn't equate to 10 stars, all right? That's what I'm saying. So don't go crazy. Don't try to kill yourself, but, do it in a positive, in a constructive way. That's what we're going to aim to, have this system be.
Yeah, I mean, of course, everyone has their biases, right?
Oh, yeah.
I would agree that Mr. Young, you and me, we are from the Bret Hart school of wrestling. We are not from the Goldberg school of wrestling.
No.
I'm from the CM Punk and FTR school of wrestling. So we appreciate great in-ring psychology. We appreciate quality of moves. We appreciate storytelling, things that need to make sense.
I think that along the way, when we start talking about these matches, I think you will see where, it all falls. As far as we are concerned. Now, when we talk about our Patreons, because like we've alluded to, like we can't go to every single event all the time, right? Work, life, that kind of thing. But thankfully, our Patreons will be there as well. And they will submit their very own evaluations, quote unquote, thoughts and ideas about all the wrestlers and how they did as well, right?
Yes, correct. So if people are saying, this one is going to be a bias, it's just going to be Mr. Young and Forer just saying who they like, they don't like. No, it's not just going to be about us. We have 8 other people in our Patreon. So it's literally a 10 men and women strong committee.
Yep.
And whoever that, is attending the shows and giving their ratings, we are going to average out all of it. So we're going to ensure that this is going to be fair and square. We might have our favorites, but other people in our Patreon might have their other favorites. And, we will align. And at the end of the day, when we do publish the rankings for the rest of the year, at the end of the year, it will be really through diligence and, very meticulously crafting the framework for this list, right, Mr. Young?
Bro, I have no favorites. I hate everybody equally. No, I'm kidding. I was like, Mr. Young just turned heel right there. Bro, heel, man. This is my heel promo, bro. I hate everyone equally. No, I'm kidding. We'll try to obviously, be as objective, excuse me. Oh, I just gave it away. No, we'll try to be as objective as possible, but
we'll be objective in our subjectivity, Mr. Young.
No, I mean, like you said, we have, the entire group to sort of average it out. So it's fine.
Yeah. But if you feel like, hey, they are what is up with all these rankings? I also want to have a stake in it. I also want to plan and give my opinions on the ratings as well. Feel free, join us on our Patreon. Be part of our committee, and then you can also attend. And also, if you want to just give 5 stars to this one wrestler because you like him so much, by all means,
please don't do that. We just talked about how we try to be objective about it. It's like, just give my best friend 10 stars.
But hey, this is what people do, right? It is a popularity contest, and popularity is part of one of the criteria. So hey.
Please don't come in and Dave Meltzer the whole thing. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about GrappleMAX's Causeway Jam event. And, as they will allude to a little bit later as well, it's an interesting setup to something down the road. Down the road being down the Causeway, across the Causeway.
Yes, I like the whole setup yesterday where, we had Sean Rick from GrappleMAX, we had the MyPW announcer, kind of like going back and forth, setting the stage. Some of the things I also like about like the production, if you realize like the GrappleMAX have done a bit of a tweaks in terms of like their logos, their presentation as well, and
they moved the entrance, quote unquote, from the last time we were there. I don't know if they did it quite a while ago or what, but remember the way we were sitting used to be where the wrestlers would come in. Yeah. So now it's sort of like there's a little curtained off area and a big sort of quote unquote proper entrance way. I think that was pretty nice.
Yeah, I like that little production setup. It also gives the exclusivity, like, oh, the wrestlers are coming out, it's a big deal kind of thing. And I mean the projector cannot do much about it. It's so funny when the wrestlers are walking by, they're like, hey, I need to scooch over, don't kena the projector. But again, little things that I like about GrappleMAX is they always have like a story or like a video intro to kind of like give context to the matches. So if you are first time attendee to the event, you won't really feel like you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
right?
it sets the tone, which, like you said, I appreciate. Now, I'm grateful and thankful that you brought that up because something really, I wouldn't say bugged me, but it struck me quite like, I was like, oh, it really took me out of it. Not say out of it. Okay, those who can promo. Those who cannot. And I think it really becomes very apparent when those vignettes are played before the match. It's like, you know what I mean, right? Like, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here or anything like that, but I think that maybe getting natural and getting more comfortable in front of the camera is something that a lot of the younger guys need to work on. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree, and I think, like, again, alluding to what you say about we're trying to be objective. We don't want to throw anyone under the bus. We did discuss among ourselves when we are talking about our ratings. For the event, we won't really say it on the podcast exactly, but we'll say it on our Patreon, and it will be very, very. We will mention exactly who we're talking about, and we'll give very our
honest,
nuanced reasons, honest feedback on why. So all that is like, content behind the Patreon paywall, but we want to keep, as of now, for this particular review, our general thoughts on all the matches as it is.
Absolutely. So, okay, we kick things off with Lavin versus Sean Pang.
Yeah, Sean Pang from Aussie. Yeah?
Aussie. Still Let's not convinced that he's Australian.
He's not, but yes, we agree.
Where is his tag team partner?
Yes, YC was very conspicuous by his absence.
Yeah, so did it feel weird? Okay, I felt weird because, first of all, it's a face v face matchup, right? There was a lot of support for Lavin because he's just making his return. Yeah, I felt that, your first match is usually the match that you want to hype the crowd up and get people excited, right?
Yeah.
I felt like having a face v face match didn't do it for me.
Yeah, remember we were kind of joking around, like somebody needs to turn heel at the end of the match.
Yeah, exactly, right? I was like, okay, come. Lavin's going to turn heel, or maybe Sean's going to turn heel. Somebody's going to, But then, no, they shake hands. I was like, oh. It felt like, nothing happened, which, I hate saying that. Obviously everybody put in their hard work and effort and stuff like that, but I don't remember, like, a day later, I don't remember much about that match.
Well, man, I do remember a lot. I mean...
Okay, because you have your notes in front of you.
No. I can recall from memory, but I did write down notes.
Sure.
Okay, let me tell you first things that struck me about the match. This is, I think, the first time we've seen Lavin in his full gear with his entrance. And when I first watched him and amplified that December show, I think he was kind of still easing back in. So I think he wrestled in his GrappleMAX t-shirt. He looked almost like a student, right? Going back into it. But now I see what is the character he's trying to portray, right? He got that AJ Styles blue.
Sure.
His gear is decent, I would say, and I like his music.
Let's talk about his fighting style, because his fighting style is what sets him apart, right? It's like sort of the MMA hybrid build. Now, my question to you is, how many people have made it work? This gimmick. How many, like you can kind of count on one hand how many people have made it work. Ken Shamrock, Ronda Rousey,
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle, sure. Matt Riddle.
Yeah. I mean, to a lesser extent, I would say Kyle O'Reilly, Shayna Baszler, Kyle O'Reilly, and who's the one that hits CM Punk? Yeah, Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish. Okay, yeah, but you know what I mean or not? I think that it is a hard gimmick to pull off. Because
are you saying that it's limiting him more than it's helping him?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. I think it is a gimmick that limits you.
Okay. I'll put it this way. I think, to me, the best example of a positive, use of MMA into a wrestling style is actually Undertaker using it.
Okay, so the way with Undertaker, right? That example, I love it because it's like he just incorporate like 3 moves into his regular move set.
Yeah. No, that's the point I'm trying to make, right? Like, it works because it's special and it's like, whoa, when he whip up this MMA move, it's cool. But you shouldn't make it your entire gimmick.
Yes, and interestingly enough, somebody else broke out some boxing moves to sort of pepper. It's like the spice. It's like you can't eat a whole bowl of pepper, but you put the spice on top of your rice, on top of your meat. Then nice. Does that make sense? It's like a topping, but it's not the main course. The main course is still wrestling.
Yeah. That being said, there was one particular sequence that I love. I believe Sean did like a blue thunder bomb on Lavin.
Yes.
And he slammed it on the ground, and then he was going for the 3 count, and then at 2 immediately Lavin transitioned into like a Google Plata or like a Hell's Gate. And the crowd popped for both moves. The crowd popped for the slam and like, holy shit, okay, he's gonna get the 3 count. And then, oh my god, what a counter. So I thought, like, that's why I say little spots like that throughout a longer match that work, as opposed to it being a whole thing.
Yeah. So here's the thing as well, right? My thing with this match also is I think facials. I'm not talking about going for a facial, but
okay.
Facial expressions when it comes to pro wrestling, and we've talked about it ad nauseum, right? Like we brought it up as an example when Dick Togo was in town, and his move set simple, but oh my god, everything hurt. I think that we can afford to see more facial expressions, more like, oh shit, I'm in trouble, like, and this goes back to the whole like really committing to the bit sort of an idea. You know what I mean? Like I feel like when, for example, somebody goes for a submission, I don't see, like, I've been in gyms. I've watched people go for submissions. When they go for submissions, they go for submissions. It looks like they're going for a submission.
Yep.
I don't see it here, which is ironic. I mean, not ironic, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Funny you brought up facials, because if you're basing it on that, I thought Sean had great facials. Like the way he was reacting to certain things, like his eyes would bug out. Like he actually has potentially great facials that he can utilize in his wrestling.
Sure.
And one thing I wrote down about him was I thought like he, of course, that Ozzy does always get a reaction. But here's the but, and I think this is where I think you might align. He can't keep going to the same well.
Yep.
And then use it all the time to the point that
it gets old.
It gets old. I like when he does that participating thing where he's like Ozzy, then he like slap, Ozzy. But you know what? If I was another wrestler, I would probably counter by the second time you try and go for it. I wouldn't stay there. Yeah. Or like, if I was in a tag team and he's in a tag team situation, right, the opponent will immediately just beat him up because he's taking too long to do. It's more than, you know what I mean? So like these are little things that the gimmick works, but don't overdo it.
Yeah. I'm starting to wonder if he needs YC, if the tag team thing is really his thing right now. And, you know, without, it just seemed a bit off. So
yeah. Maybe what can work for Sean is Sean needs to create a very distinct difference in character from YC, because YC, they're all the same tag team, but YC stands out more because maybe of his look. He has the hair, he got that cheery face, right? Yeah. Sean also relatively is like happy-go-lucky as well. Sorry.
The another thing that I also wanted to bring up, right, as far as Sean is concerned, you know, his whole gimmick is a bit over the top, I feel. So when you talk about his facials, right, I think that there is a fine line between goofy and expressive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like, and there are some people I will, call out later who have great facials, who do not cross that goofy line, even though they are kind of goofy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think maybe that is something that he can work on.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you want to be goofy and that's your character, you want to showcase that. Then go all in and commit to that goofiness. But if you're trying to be serious and then suddenly your face comes across as goofy, then jalan really lah. You need to kind of like dial back in or rethink how you approach. So I would say both of them, at least in the singles context, are a work in progress.
Oh yeah. For sure. Sean wins with the phenomenal forearm out of nowhere. It kind of caught all of us out of nowhere, right? Which, I guess goes to the whole, what is it, an Aussie out of nowhere? I guess.
I did not know. Yeah, but it's you know what? I was impressed. I thought that was a really great finishing move to incorporate. If he really makes it part of his like presentation, he can get the crap hyped up. Like, oh my god, like like how for us we always see Remus. Okay, his thing is that moonsault.
Yeah.
And he works his matches towards the moonsault. Okay, oh, we are excited to see that. So
Yeah.
if he can build up, we can build
You
up
you got real excited about that, bro.
yeah, I was like, oh my god, I was trying to swallow my saliva. but if he can build up to that phenomenal form, then I think people will be more invested in his moveset, if nothing else.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, you go almost crack again, bro. You cannot.
I'm cracking my way through this podcast.
You need a strepsils? What's going on? All right,
I got my Red Bull. So
Red Bull, there you go. You're all hyped up. All right, let's talk about that triple threat. I thought this match should have started the show, actually, to get everybody off hype. I think maybe they could have swapped these two matches. But we got Inglorious, N-Boss, and Remus. You got Showtime, which is Showtime and Julian. You got Cornelius and Jack Alexander. So this is our GrappleMAX versus my PW match.
Yep.
Right?
Right off the bat, do you know who, for me, surprised me and actually surprised the entire crowd and got the whole crowd invested in him?
Jack Alexander, is it? With his secret sauce.
Yeah, I have no idea what's up with that secret sauce. I don't know. I was looking at you, I was saying, like, is this teh tarik? Or is this like, kopi C?
Yeah.
That he surprised me. And if my PW's intention is to introduce their wrestlers to a new audience or get people to know about their wrestlers, like my takeaway from that match was like, ooh, I'm liking this Jack Alexander. I want to know more about him.
He's a fun sort of like I don't want to label him as a comedic actor. And wrestler. And I always get worried that comedic wrestlers have a ceiling, right? At some point, it's like, okay, this guy's the joke. At least like a Orange Cassidy, for an AEW example, right? Here's the thing, my issue with this match, and maybe it's not so much an issue, maybe it's a setup for things in the future. I feel like there was a story here, a story I would have rather seen. What is that story? Inglorious versus Showtime, which has been something that was brewing, right? Instead, it became sort of a comedy show with Cornelius and Jack. And I get it. And the whole thing is to build towards their sort of next Causeway jam, as it were. Yeah. But in a way, I was like, I wanted to see Inglorious versus Showtime a little bit more than this, stuff in between.
I mean, of course, last week, Bun and Lavin gave us context that, they are having their own little mini feud. They are like unlikely partners between Cornelius and Jack Alexander. Yeah, but I get it. I think if I'm going to play devil's advocate, GrappleMAX point of view is probably like, we want to highlight these MyPW wrestlers. So maybe we are willing to take a step back in our own so-called storyline so that we can push them in the context of just this match.
Yeah, like it's a side quest before they actually go back to feuding, which is probably the next event or whatever it is. But it just, it just reminded me of it. I really love watching Showtime Inc. I think we talk about, and these were the guys that I wanted to call out, in terms of everything about their facials and presentation. They have bought into their character. They know who they are. They know what they are, what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, when we talk about, like, for example, a completely out there character like a broken Matt Hardy, Like, what is the difference between, this is hokey versus, what the heck, this is actually not bad? It's the commitment. And I feel like Showtime Inc. have the commitment. Like, they are them. I believe them.
Yeah. You know what's very funny? We always give our flowers to Val, we give our flowers to Prabhu, but I think this match make me really pay attention to Julian.
Julian, yes.
So Julian is the guy, man. I like him a lot.
not even Julian, Sean P. Diddy.
Yeah, Sean P. Diddy.
He was literally outside. He was talking to us, but he was talking to us as Sean P. Diddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was he say like, I don't know where to stand where I don't block people. Right? He was just something like that, right?
This one no rules. Like, he was like hinting, but like it's the intangible I always talk about, right? Like you believe him. You believe Julian. You believe, like, so I was like, okay, that's why, like, I really wanted to see more Inglorious versus Showtime.
Yeah, very cool that you mentioned it, because I just recall a conversation we had with Greg, and Greg was saying that, I think Sean has that intangible. He has that it factor. He
Yeah.
he told us months ago about him,
Mm.
and I'm seeing it. And with the as he embraces his like Sandman, I don't give a fuck character. I think he can be those guys with, if nothing else, his gimmick is the thing that will put him over.
Yeah.
Julian as well. Julian is like
Yes.
that lackey,
Mm.
but it's almost as if he is creating his own niche for himself. He's like, do you know who he is? Reminds me of one, bro.
Who?
He's like Jimmy Uso of it, bro.
Yes,
Jimmy Uso. He's like
Jimmy
the guy
Uso.
trying to run everything when the big guy is not around. Trying to establish his control. So agreed. I'm loving Showtime Inc. I think they're really growing, and what I want to see from GrappleMAX is them starting to create very distinct characters between each one of them, and have a bit of that Judgment Day dynamic where they might bicker among each other, but but still work it through, right?
I mean, they have the whole intern thing. They have all their really cool vignettes and everything. I just want, it's cool to have that, but I want to see them get into an issue with another group. That is what I want to see, because I want to see the payoff. I want to see the match. Once again, let me go back to, I feel like this should have started off the event. It got off very well. I mean, comedy aside, maybe you enjoyed the comedy. I enjoyed it too, but like I said, I wish it was something else, because there was something more bubbling under, and maybe we'll get to see it down the road.
And of course, shout out to the veterans during the match. I think really the one that held this match together was Greg. Of course, was fell to the next extent. Yes.
I wish we saw more of Remus in this, because he kind of got lost in this. But then again, it's a triple threat tag team match that happens, right?
Yeah. I mean, he did a flying senton off the top rope, so that was fun.
Cool.
That was the thing that was memorable. And in terms of ratings, right? Of course, we'll review the ratings on our Patreon, but I just want to say that like this match really showed that there are really levels to this, and I feel like Greg as that stalwart, as the ace. I'm not say ace because he's more of like a veteran guy, but he's really the standard that everyone needs to get up to, because he does things so smooth, so simple, makes so much sense, but have created so much impact. Please follow him.
I don't know if simple is the word, but he makes it look simple, but he makes it look good. Okay, let's move on to the next match. LK versus Wonder Boy. Talking about somebody who, like I mentioned earlier, who has incorporated certain other, disciplines into his moveset, right? LK. I don't know if he's been sort of playing more of a heel or what, but I think who started the scam chance? Because it was the whole cryptocurrency thing, right?
Bro, it's our section, bro. Like DJ Kel, shout out to Utley. We got a couple of the guys who are like I would say they're the mud rape gang at the back. Shout out to all of them. But so do you understand the context behind it though?
Yeah, because it's crypto, right?
I mean that's one of them. Of course, whatever the situation is with crypto these days. But last show on Amplify, Lady Killer, or Crypto Bro as he's now called, actually had a match with Sean P. Diddy, and he kind of like, the storyline was like he basically scammed him of some Pokemon cards or some shit like that. So basically now Crypto Bro is doing the rock thing, right? He's smart. He's leaning into, people having this like negative bias towards crypto recently and blah blah blah. And he's kind of like playing off this like, I'm like a swindler. I'm like a guy who's gonna lie, cheat, and steal. I'm gonna play with your money and all that. So the moment he walked out as Crypto Bro, and then everyone started shouting scared. I think, bro, it's like a gold mine. Like he accidentally walked into, man. It's a heel character.
Well, here's the thing, and what I really appreciated about this match, it went full circle, right? Because it started with LK faking the eye injury. Oh, you remember? Or contact lens, whatever it is, to gain the upper hand. And it came back to bite him in the ass at the end, because Wonder Boy also did the whole like, he played possum. He quote unquote turned the table on LK's scamming ways, reversing the rock bottom into his sister Abigail, whatever he calls it. So I like that there was a sort of a full circle moment in this match. Very well constructed match. Enjoyed it.
I think this actually was one. I was my favorite match. It was one of personally it was my favorite match of the night. Because of a lot of things, right? It's not just the match itself. The intro package, they set the context that he talked Lady Killer.
Yes.
So I will always call him Lady Killer. That's how I know him. LK was talking about, he's done everything. He's successful. He's won championships everywhere. He wants to, as a veteran, he wants to complete his three-peat. He wants to win this new so-called championship from IPW. And on Wonder Boy's side, he was talking about how he was always looked up to LK,
Yeah.
right? Consider him like one of his idols in the scene. He always wanted to, be of his level, and it was so interesting because the dynamic was like a almost student teacher mentor idol,
Idol, yeah.
idol situation. And then but now he's the champion. He's like the top guy or
Yeah.
main guy in my PW, and LK wants something from him. He wants the title. So
Yeah.
there were so many layers to the story, and
Yeah.
that's not even counting the scams scenario, the playing of the people's emotions. So and remember you told me like for the GrappleMAX wrestlers to improve, they
Mm.
need to work constantly or regularly with the veterans. Like
Yeah.
they need to have matches with LK, they need to have matches with Dave, they need to have matches with Greg. And Wonder Boy has kind of elevated himself to a level where he's also a great worker on his own right.
Yes, yes.
So-
I think it was a great combination of two people who are. We've often sung the praises of Wonder Boy as well, right?
Yeah.
We've seen him previously as well when he was JY Eagle, if you remember.
Yes, he was. Shout out to his gear, man. Great
Oh,
gear
yeah.
that he had.
Yeah.
He had the whole Ric Flair with
He
the
did.
wings and all that.
Actually, you know what was cool when he did that? He was doing it in front of the projector, so the projector like stuff was shining on his gear. I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if he meant to do that, but that looked actually quite cool. Okay, so yeah, I really enjoyed this match. Wonder Boy won with his finish. Yeah. Nice little, full circle match right there. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to
Yeah.
Joseph versus Kaizul. Okay.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Kaizul's promo. I mean, we talk about promos, right? Like, some people really buy into it. Some people need to work on their promos. I enjoyed Kaizul's promo.
Yeah.
Once again, I go back to the whole goofy style, comedic style of wrestling, right? Joseph kind of leans into that a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it. Like, I feel like I don't mean this in a very negative way, but his wrestling style reminded me of Eugene's wrestling style.
Oh yeah,
where
there's some similarities. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where he's sort of like awkward. And like, I don't know if that is on purpose, but I feel like there might be a ceiling on that, first of all, right? But I
Yeah.
mean, his whole head thing is over, so.
Yeah, bro, we are like a few matches in, and is this like the toughest you've been on GrappleMAX? I'm actually
I think so, because now that you've put the whole thing down where we need to like, got rating, I'm like, okay, I guess we have to, be a little bit. Look, at the end of the day, right? You guys know, I'm talking to the GrappleMAX and SPW and local wrestlers. You guys know that we love you.
yeah.
It's coming from a good place. We
Yeah,
want to see
yeah.
everybody shine.
Yeah, I think one of the wrestlers told me before, like, one of the things that they love that we are, supporting them,
Yeah, yeah.
but they also want like legit constructive feedback and see how they can improve. And we are not trying to tell wrestlers what to do.
No,
Clearly,
no.
we are not
No, no.
wrestlers. We'll never be able to
Yeah.
understand it from
Lean-
the point of view of a wrestler, right?
Lean into what you're doing, do what works, but of course, make it look real. That you know me lah. That's always been my thing. Make it look real. Make it look like you're actually having a fight, right?
Yeah, yeah.
To me, this match felt like a setup. The match was not important. The afterbirth was important.
The aftermath, yeah. For
Yeah,
sure.
because this was all about Kaizul wins with the V trigger, right? And then Kaizul beats down Joseph, like, oh no, who's gonna save him? Who's gonna save him? Going back to the opening promo where Joseph was asking D for help. D makes the save, sets up
Yeah.
the return, cuts the promo. So that became more memorable to me than the actual match itself.
Yeah. Interestingly, in the promo vignette that they played beforehand, they were talking about how D hasn't been in the ring for a long time.
Yeah.
But like, hey, you're from IPW last time. You're like the first Malaysian wrestler. Blah blah blah. Can you give some tips?
Yeah.
On how to be. Or and it's almost like a hint, right? Like, oh wow, he is like the guy who knows the ins and outs of IPW almost.
Yeah.
Is he gonna come out of so-called retirement or like his break to get back in the scene? And we were like looking at each other. We were like, oh damn, D is looking snatch. I wouldn't say jack yet, but snatch.
Yeah.
Is he training back for a return? So I think that created a lot of intrigue going on in the match.
You know what would be interesting, right?
Yeah.
I know I'm kind of jumping ahead because they have the whole event in KL in June, or is it July? I forget.
Yeah.
But can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you? March?
Wait. Sorry. I'm not keeping track. It's not much. It's
No, it's not. I think it's
June.
middle of the year. But
Okay.
can you imagine if because now D represents GrappleMAX and on the quote unquote Singapore side, what if he heel turn, bro?
Ooh, he does a Kurt Angle, bro.
Yeah.
Join the alliance.
Alliance. I don't. I'm just throwing it out there. That could be a thing.
Yeah,
I enjoyed Dee's intensity. You know, I always talk about intensity and believing in what you're saying and the promo skills. I enjoyed what he did here.
I'm curious because first of all, I didn't know he was from IPW. I didn't know he was a Malaysian wrestler.
I didn't know that either.
So that is a really cool wrinkle. The fact that he's a Malaysian wrestler, but he's been based in Singapore and like helping GrappleMAX, I think that is a potential story thread that they can explore.
Exactly.
And I'm also just trying to put us over, but like, do you think he came back because he heard it got rankings?
No lah, don't like
And
it.
then he's like, you know what, I want to be a part of this ranking system. And but you know what, I feel that we need to have more wrestlers, more variety in the wrestling, and more just more options in the roster.
But also more veterans, more people who have like this is what we talked about. Like veterans working with the young and upcoming ones to work on their promo skills, their in-ring sharpness, right? You know, everybody has the skill already. You know, we know that GrappleMAX, SPW, they have good training systems. But it's you know what I mean? It's just that extra, like, let's sharpen it. Let's make everything look real snug, real nice. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one, which is a tag team match. Yes.
Before, I just wanted to quickly say, if you're keeping score, you know that all the MyPW wrestlers have won their matches so far. You realize that, right?
Yeah, well, that leads to the whole big thing at the end, huh?
Yeah.
We got Miles Karu and Tommy versus Dave and Ban.
Mm-hmm. And this is, of course, the fourth, and I think the final, right? MyPW / GrappleMAX co-branded match, right? Yeah. Very interestingly, we've seen Miles Karu before, and we were talking about it. Like, hey, I think we've seen him in an SPW show, and I always thought his look was very distinct, right?
Yeah.
You were saying like, oh, this guy looked for like Sangha or like who's the one that was the dancer?
Shanky, bro.
Shanky.
No, and then somebody in the crowd called him Black Jesus at one point because he had the long hair.
Yeah, but the point is he stood out. You know, he
did.
He looked like, oh, you know, I don't know anything about him, but I'm curious to see what he does in the ring, right? Tommy RD, bro. Do you have any thoughts on Tommy RD?
He was bit aggro, bro. Like, he come out to MCR, which is fine and everything, but he was just screaming a lot. I was like, bro, you okay?
He looked like he was an emo boy still lost in the mid-2000s. And okay, you know what? First of all, shout out to both of their songs because freaking Tommy came out to MCR and Miles Karu came out to Red Hot Chili Peppers. So if nothing else, big ups to their music taste. I'm a fan of you guys based on that.
But let's talk about the match itself, okay? And I think a lot of the story here has to do with the relationship between Dave and Ban. You know, Ban is sort of the young guy who wants to do things right. Dave is the veteran who has been doing it for a long time and he's not afraid to bend the rules a little bit. That, you know, came out in the whole promo beforehand, right? Like, with the low blow and everything. And in a lot of ways, too, I feel like, you know, maybe not so much looking at it from as a viewer point of view, but as all right, you know, looking at what is going on here, it really just seems like Ban is being groomed or trained by Dave by just working with him. I think it really helps him.
They're giving me a bit of hardcore Holly, Cody Rhodes vibes, like
God.
Hardcore Holly stuff on, you know, Cody Rhodes stuff. You know, one thing that Dave did at the start of the match, he just pushed Ban away.
Yeah. Like, let me do it. Let me show you how it's done. Yeah.
I like that. I like that dynamic. I like that they're trying to tell a story that, you know, Dave is a bad guy, so he wants to always cheat, get the upper hand.
Yeah.
But Ban is like, no, you gotta play it straight. You know, we gotta like respect the rules, and that creates the tension.
Yeah.
Essentially, they're like a babyface / heel, you know, odd couple, right? What's your thoughts on Ban, you know, as a performer and how he performed in this match?
So I know we talked to him last week, right? And we talked about his ring style and everything. Here's the thing. Because like he has a very specific look. The thing is he doesn't lean into that style. It's just a look. So to me there is a very weird disconnect. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, if I came in with like full-on MMA gear, but I do know MMA moves. You know, we talked about that whole thing, right? So, and you know, we talked about it. It's like, yeah, it looks cool as an image, but if you don't lean into it or you don't have any moves that has to do with that art style or that martial art style, it does seem like a disconnect to me.
Yeah,
Doesn't
because
it?
it's almost how you dress. If people immediately assume that that's gonna be the style that you're gonna be doing. It's
Yeah,
like
like,
if
oh,
I'm gonna
he's
wear
gonna throw high kicks or he's gonna throw elbows or stuff like that, right?
if I'm gonna wear like a BJJ gi and then I
Yeah.
come into the ring and start boxing, and I'm like,
Huh? Yeah, what's going on, right? Yeah, yeah. No, it does seem a little bit weird. So I'm like,
are you telling Ban to like, can you go get some Muay Thai or some Krav
skills?
Maga classes or some shit?
No. I'm just saying that maybe right now he's trying to find himself, find
Yeah,
his quote
yeah.
unquote character, so he can, stand out in that way, right?
yeah.
Maybe dressing up in that way doesn't fit because you're not a practitioner of that martial art. It doesn't work.
Okay, well, but I love that he brings his culture into
Sure.
his gear. I mean, he does wear that like headband. I believe it's a ceremonial type of headband. If you
Then-
wanna go into it,
Include your whatever elbows or knees
Okay,
that
yeah.
that
yeah. Evolve can go evolve. Mr. Young, you are doing an MMA gym, right? You can recommend him some, gyms. No. I agree that there's a disconnect. We also talk about gear. I know he's wearing compression, underwear, shorts.
I mean, okay, to be fair, it's
it's
expensive.
color coordinated. Yes, it's
Yeah, well, ring gear is expensive and it's a heck of a commitment. I think we can sort of close one eye on that, but
yeah. But what I'm saying is, I think he has a lot of. He's like a coal that's being squeezed into a diamond because he got to me. He might not have the charisma yet per se, or we also commented like maybe he's still a bit not confident in terms of on the mic or in terms of his promos, but to me his intangible is that he does have a very likable. Immediately, you have a likability to him in the ring.
Yeah,
he has a great look. I think he body wise, I think physically he can grow into a even better physique. And he actually might be like a very sympathetic baby face if booked and done right.
Yeah. And I mean, the whole idea here, putting him with Dave as well, like, you can kind of see where this is going, right? At some point, somebody's going to turn on somebody and there's your next story moving forward. And even if they don't turn, they're working together, I think it only helps Ban. And we talked about Ban, lots of upside. But that secret sauce, hopefully Dave can share the secret sauce, train him.
Okay, I'm gonna make an early prediction, bro. Right?
Yeah.
Because of course, Dave and Ban got the win. Dave kind of like show you how it's done or took advantage of.
While Dave wanted to do the low blow while the ref was being distracted, and then Ban said, "No, what are you doing?" And then Dave yells at him. It's like, "Why?" I love the sequence because I think Dave really brings that full commitment. Then we talk about it, right? That full commitment. You believe that is what he wanted to do. That is him out there doing what he does.
Yeah, I think I really like that he's kind of like trying to show the way, but he's doing it like a tough love kind of scenario, right?
Yeah.
But my prediction with GrappleMAX, I know they've officially announced it previously that they're gonna have their tag team title soon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how the tournament's gonna break down, when it's gonna happen, but they are my front runners to actually go all the way and win the tag team title. The first tag team champions.
There you go. Your odd couple tag team champions. So we know that storyline lah, but I'm here for it lah.
Yeah, but here it is, right? It's crazy because we have legit, certified tag teams on the roster. We have Aussie, we have Showtime, we have Inglorious, but I feel the odd couple is gonna be the one that wins.
This was my sort of quote unquote tie for best match of the night. Like we mentioned earlier, LK versus Wonderboy. I feel like this one I enjoyed a lot as well.
Interesting.
Because if anything, it's because of that whole, dynamic between Dave and Ban. They have the charisma, they have the chemistry, and also you have Miles and Tommy in there to play the foil, to get in between their stuff. So
and also remember what we talked about earlier, that we should have more of the veterans working matches with the younger ones.
Yes.
That is teaming against them or fighting against them.
To basically work with them to train them.
Yeah, work with them. Yeah, because it really shows. Like I think Ban got elevated just by being in the ring with Dave.
I think so.
So agree.
Main event time.
Yeah, let's go.
Versus Hot Shot. The first thing I said to Foreign when Prabhu came out, I was like, Showtime need to turn on him soon. Like, dude is getting so over, it's not even funny.
Yeah, dude is getting Batista levels of like everyone's into it. I mean, yeah. He's
the look, he has the charisma.
Bro, he is the most popular in terms of reaction that night. He's the most popular wrestler on the card, and he's against Wilson, who's the champion.
Yeah, so I found that a little bit like because Wilson is the face, he's the champion. Prabhu is the heel. Prabhu has more cheers than Wilson. I was like, oh boy, oh no.
I have a very weird comparison to make.
Okay.
Do you think Wilson is gonna suffer the Hangman Page problem?
The Hangman. No, no. First of all, no. I have nothing but negative things about Hangman Page, so don't make that comparison.
Okay,
bro.
okay. I'll give a more relevant example.
Okay.
Do you think he has a Bianca Belair problem?
As in, yes, we love the chase, but once he has it, it's like, oh, okay, lah.
Yeah, okay, lah. Yeah, but I think that is not a unique problem to Wilson. I think this is a problem for all babyface champions.
Yeah.
Even Kofi Mania, even Kofi
Yep.
Kingston, right? Or Chris Benoit, right? When they won the title, people expecting, oh, they're gonna be great, they're gonna defend the title. Even Seth Rollins, they're gonna defend all the title, will be a fighting champion. But what is the investment
Right.
in the character after they win? Once you get everything, what's next?
So is Wilson winning the title like that WrestleMania moment? And then after that, sort of like, because it's more of the anticipation and the moment versus the actual character itself. Right?
Yeah.
Like we all know Wilson for a long time already, and we want, like, he deserves it. Damn it, he deserves it. And build. Once he gets it, then what?
Yeah. So there's a very fine line between winning the title as like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah, yes. Bro,
That's
it.
Or,
Life,
or,
yes.
or winning the title where it's the start of your career. There's gonna be more greatness after that.
That is the perfect way of putting it. Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, I get you, right?
Yeah. And look, we absolutely do not want to downplay it, but that's a freaking great comparison, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. And I'm saying it coming from like a good place, right? So as you alluded to, right? Like, I believe what Wilson needs right now is to either go full Bret Hart or to go full. I wouldn't say MJF, but you know how MJF character tweaked after he won the title?
Yes.
But this is from the opposite point of view. He was a heel, he won a title, then he slowly transitioned to a babyface.
Yeah.
I
I feel like the Bret Hart comparison would be a little bit better because in terms of a character, in terms of promo skills, mic skills, that kind of thing, I think Wilson is more of a tactician, less of an MJF. Like MJF is God on the mic, lah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm not expecting every top star in Singapore that you need to be God of the mic, you need to be the most charismatic guy. Like, we've seen people like Aiden Rex in SPW who literally lets his wrestling do the talking for him, right? And he's kind of found that niche for himself. And I want Wilson to also find that niche for himself. If he's more of like, I'm like that stand-up guy, I'm like all about, I got values, which is what Bret Hart is, right?
Yeah.
But why do you think Bret Hart can connect to fans so well? And what do you think Wilson can learn from Bret Hart and incorporate into his connection with the fans?
Here's the thing, right? With Bret Hart, I feel like a lot of it was because there was a truth to both sides of what he was saying. Like Bret Hart came out of that era where he was, doing babyface things, babyface doing babyface things, going into an era where people were cheering the anti-heroes, the heels, the Steve Austins. So nothing he said was, he was telling the truth, right? It's like, you guys would cheer this criminal, this bad guy instead. What the hell? I mean, in a way, maybe we do see a reflection of this in Prabhu, who's the bad guy who cheats sometimes, but he's getting cheered. So maybe that's a road they can go down.
I think Wilson needs to learn from modern baby faces. I think what makes a baby face work in the 2000s and 2024 right now, that doesn't work anymore from in the 90s. You can't just be a vanilla, I'm just going to be incredibly nice, incredibly kind, blah, blah, blah. You need to have a baby face who has morals, stand up for himself, is honorable, but calls people out on their bullshit. Calls people out, which he did in his promo, to be fair. But I think he needs to show in the ring as well.
Well, I mean, okay, going back to the promos and everything as well, I think believing it, intensity, showing up, going for promo class, that kind of stuff. I think maybe that, is something that he can work on as well. There is something to selling the main event, right? Let's talk about a piece of advice we've actually thrown out there to a fellow Singapore wrestler that we love, Destroyer Dama. Remember a few years ago, we commented, it's like, I wish that he would put more intensity, more aggressiveness into what he does. Like, he is a big, jack dude, but when he hits people, it looks like powdering. It doesn't hurt.
It's powdering. It's almost like okay.
Right? And I feel like I want to say the same thing about Prabhu. He's the big guy. He's the big tall guy, right?
Yeah.
And the whole time through, every time he does his like the camel clutch, even or the accolade, whatever you want to call it, right? I feel like there could have been an intensity, like really crank back. Obviously, without hurt, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
really,
Lay it in, do a Sheamus.
Yeah.
Lay the shots in, pull back, but make sure the other person feels it as well. You know?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's and in the facial expression, it all goes back to the quote unquote the reactions, the facials, right? Like you know, like don't just crank and smile. No, like really like look like you're trying to break him in half.
Yeah, you know the clubbing blows that he does
Yeah.
a variation of Sheamus's move. When he did it, we were up close, of course, so we saw it up close. Like I couldn't hear the sound of him, the forearms landing on the back of Wilson.
Yeah.
Like really like bam, and he's gonna feel it. He might even make Wilson so. And I'm not telling him to like freaking shoot on Wilson, but if I was a wrestler, I would sacrifice somebody saying that, you know what, I tell you, just hit me on the back, make me feel it, make it look like it hurt. But if it accidentally hurts, I don't mind because it came across well.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Like, yeah. So yeah, I agree with you, align with you exactly with what you say.
I wrote this in my notes. More sell, less moves. I literally wrote this. More sell, less moves. Make the moves look and don't rush through it. I think that maybe there was a bit of excitement, like in the camel clutch, like he got to the ropes, Wilson got to the ropes a bit fast. I was well, he's in the ropes already. Build the drama, right, of that. Like, that struggle, I gotta get to the ropes, he's gonna break my back in half. Meanwhile, Prabhu with the face, like, I'm gonna fucking break you in half.
Yeah, you know what I want? I want this in the next couple of years, this to be like the flagship rivalry in, GrappleMAX, like how Dave and Greg, for the longest time, their series of matches was amazing, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they are still very young into their career, and I know Wilson has put in the miles, the number of years as well. But I feel in terms of their popularity, in terms of how over there with the audience, they are only now starting to be in the main event scene.
Yeah.
But I want them to kind of level up, really, level up their intensity, level up, their hatred for each other. I want them to like hit each other and sell that hate, to the audience.
The finish had Prabhu hitting the side slam, goes for a bit of a this is a lay on the back. Back to chest, sort of a cover, and then gets crucifix pin for the win. Wilson gets the win. Sorry, he retains, right? And it was like a shock, like, oh, what? So I liked the finish. I really did.
Yeah,
like
I think it was less of retaining and more like surviving.
Yeah, like I barely got through that, right?
Yeah.
So
the crowd wasn't happy though. Very interesting reaction.
Yeah. Wow. Like I said, like Prabhu is ultra over, right? To me, okay, just to wrap things up, right? Less moves, more hot shot in peril. Like honestly, this match in my mind, right, is like it should have been Prabhu dominating 80% of the match.
To be fair,
they pulls out the win.
To be fair, they did that. It just it didn't resonate, created the impact that it could have if they had more intensity, more peril. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah.
You know how we talk about our ranking system, and it's not just quality of moves, it's just not popularity. But to me, the popularity, the fact that Bravo was the most over person tonight, helped pull out his rating like significantly to me. So like it's okay if to me like his moveset is not there yet, or his quality of move is not there yet, but like his character, his popularity. So that's what I'm trying to say for people who are thinking about the rankings, right? If you are not the best gimmick or the best character, if your wrestling is outstanding, I think that will pull you up. Also, in the same respect, if your moves are not there yet, you're still trying to polish up in the ring, but you have amazing character, that will pull you up. So I think it's fair game.
Interesting that Showtime didn't show up at all. Showtime, so they kept it very clean. I guess the reason is, and this is good booking, right?
Yeah.
If you had all their groups all show up, then the afterbirth, the MyPW thing, would have been like, oh my god, more people showing up. So it would have been a cluster F. But because the whole point, they were gearing towards MyPW wrestlers coming into the ring, attacking Wilson, beating down the champion, setting up sort of a GrappleMAX MyPW feud for their next event, the next Causeway Jam, which is going to be in KL. I'll go check out their social media for the exact dates and everything. So that is something, honestly, I felt like they did a really good job job of setting up this whole. Everybody loves Raw versus SmackDown, WWE versus WCW. People love that sort of quote unquote inter-promotional warfare, right? And that's what we got. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
You know what's the best thing about local wrestling?
What's that?
Right? Yesterday night, right, was the only time a Singapore crowd can shout at a Malaysian person and say 3.5, 3.5,
dude,
and not cause a civil war.
No. We know that this is entertainment. We just went there to have a bit of fun. So, thank you very much, GrappleMAX, for putting up an awesome show, entertaining us for the evening. If anything, right, like you know me, I had a long ass day. The day before, I was like, I don't know how I can tahan. I didn't feel tired the whole way through. I was like, shit, well, I am being sports entertained. So there we go.
And I really wish, we could have stayed back and kind of like caught up with them and network with them. But, you had a long day. You wanted to go back to your wife. I also had a long day. I wanted to go back to my partner. So I really hope the next time, whether it's Amplify or the next GrappleMAX show, hopefully we can kind of like catch up with you guys and, for more of our thoughts on and also our ratings for all the wrestlers that performed yesterday night, please check out on our Patreon as well. And I'm really excited by this, and I'm also feel like I think this will give a lot of impetus for us to try to cover as much shows as we can and be there in person.
Yes. Now, as we promised, we have a very special guest who's going to join us on the show. He's going to chat with us about his love for wrestling, pro wrestling, and he's going to be at Elimination Chamber. So we're going to preview, Elimination Chamber with him as well. Let's do it. Let's go. Yo, and joining us on the podcast, as promised, he's from SGAG. You've seen all his funny memes, and he is the wrestling fan in SGAG. We love it. It's Sean. First of all, thank you so much for taking your time out to join us on a weekend, on a Sunday like this, man.
Hello, thank you so much. I think it's rare to be able to talk wrestling with people in Singapore like that, right? You don't get to find that kind of community very, very often, right? I think I love it. Thanks for inviting me on.
For sure. To set the context as well, right? How this whole thing came about was like literally SGAG has posted, it was your post, right? It was a finish the story meme.
Yeah, I remember. And I think it's not just the finish the story meme. I think that was the thing that set it off. Yeah. But then you guys went on a roll, throughout CNY, you were posting so many wrestling memes. Was that all you, bro?
Yeah, so I think how it started, right? I think wrestling is a very good medium to create memes because of how expressive they are, right? But then how it started for this particular one was that I felt personally affected when The Rock came in.
Wow. Were you the Cody Crybabies, bro?
I am a Cody Crybaby. So I felt, okay, why not? This is not my page, my company page, right? How can I sneak in finish the story?
Oh my god, bro, you're like us, bro.
Try to very subtly sneak in some wrestling to get wrestling out there in the mainstream.
So like at that point of time, right? They hadn't changed the main event yet. So I thought every little bit would help push Cody back into the.
Bro, that is great activism, bro. You are like an activist for the finish the story movement.
I'm a Cody Crybaby, finish the story. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I want to take it back, right? Like usually we ask our guests like, what was your first memory of wrestling? How do you get into wrestling? And the more I would say personal question is, how do you remain a wrestling fan through all these years when no one else cared about wrestling in Singapore?
Okay, so don't judge me for this, but the earliest memory I had of wrestling was the 2002 that era, the Ruthless Aggression era.
Right?
Okay.
I didn't watch the Attitude era at all.
Were you just too young, or were you just?
So I'm 31 this year, and I think that was like 22 years ago. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
So the earliest I could remember was John Cena slapping Kurt Angle. That was my core memory. Right
there. Ruthless Aggression. Okay, pretty cool.
How do I remain a wrestling fan all this year? I mean, I tell you guys, I don't know whether your face is or not, but growing up as the geeky wrestling guy, right? It's sometimes it's tough,
You have spoken to all of us. At some point, I'm sure somebody is like, hey, you watch this shit. This is fake one, fake why you watch. How many times have you heard this?
This is okay, at least nowadays people don't ask that already, but back then it's like, hey, it's fake right now?
Yeah.
Yeah lah, it's fake lah.
So what?
Show.
You think what? The Avengers real one,
Yeah, but there was, so I think there was 1 year where I let I guess I let peer pressure take over me, and I got a bit embarrassed to watch wrestling. Right? So
no.
I forced myself to quit for 1 year, and that was during the WrestleMania 21 that year. I missed out that one whole year.
Oh wow! So you missed out on Money in the Bank. The rise of John Cena and Batista. Oh man, okay. Yeah,
But
yeah.
sorry, you asked how I remain a fan all these years. I think I don't know. It just always attracted to me. And you know, people in their childhood, they had like their Harry Potter in their childhood. They had Star Wars. To me, it's always wrestling.
Well,
I
so
see.
who introduced it to you in the first place? Did you just see it on TV randomly? You walk by a VCD shop, or what? How did it even start?
So last time I can't remember the details today, but you know, Channel 5 they will show wrestling at the weirdest timings, right?
Like 11 a.m.
Oh yeah.
And as a kid, you don't know the storylines, but you're just so glued to the action, right?
Yeah.
And then I just got hooked off. And then after, you know, the last time the VCD shops, they will show the matches.
Yes.
I was standing there with all the uncles on there. Just...
yeah, all the uncle.
Yeah,
I remember Tampines Mall, you walk past the interchange, they always play like the new pay-per-view, and then we just watch people just watching.
And you know, my I live in Bukit Panjang area, and then we have a nearby store that used to sell wrestling CDs, right? So I just asked the guy because I assume I'm the only guy that buys the monthly pay-per-view the disc, right? So like, hey, the poster you finish already, you can give me, you know. So every month he just gave me the posters of that.
Oh wow,
bro! Is this like your neighborhood Pokim? You know, like the DVD shop? Oh, it's like
damn neighborhood one. It's very
nice.
I get it. That's so cool. I remember all this so well. It's so funny because you know, when we have some wrestlers, Singapore wrestlers who came, I remember Dante Chen gave an interview to us, and he said that he got into wrestling because of the video games like SmackDown versus Raw, Here Comes the Pain. Do you play some of the wrestling video games as well?
So yes, but I never had a PlayStation growing up, right? So my first. Okay, technically my first game was on my Xbox, the Raw 2. I don't know whether you know.
Yeah, Scott Steiner, Triple H on the cover.
You can customize the attires on you, but the earliest memory I had of actually like playing a full game, right, was probably SVR 2007.
Wow. Okay.
Later on in the
decade, because previously, you know, growing up, who has money to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation, right?
It's considered a privilege at that point.
Then after that, I think every year I bought it. Also, here's a funny story. I was doing 1 year, I think it was my O levels. I just finished one paper, the next day I had another paper, but I think on the same day, SmackDown versus Raw was released.
Yeah.
So I went to buy and I just played it for like 2 hours at night first before my next paper the next day.
Oh wow. Bro, then how your O level result for that paper okay, right?
I mean, I'm doing memes for a living now, so
so that means it went incredibly well, I promise.
Yes, that's exactly it.
I tell that to my relatives and my mom.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So did you, and because like the people who watch the podcast know this, right? I actually have like a 2-year gap because for whatever reason, and this was during the PG era, I just got bored with the product. I started watching UFC, and this was during the rise of the UFC, mixed martial arts. So I just drifted away. Did you ever have a moment where you just like, okay, I don't want to watch
life
this anymore?
happen or like, just caught up stuff?
I think, full credit to you, right? The 09, the PG era, right? That was a half couple of years, right?
Yeah, like, it was, yeah.
And I mean, I did have a period, but I don't know what I can say. Is the, you know, when the whole big saga happened, he did the whole suicide and the homicide. Can I say that on the podcast?
Oh yeah. Talk about Chris Benoit.
Okay, yeah.
So that left me a bit like, oh shit, this is real life, right?
Yeah, it's too real already, yeah.
Yeah, and it felt like quite a bummer to watch for a while. But then after that, I mean, the answer very lame lah, but John Cena's my idol, so I just kept watching.
So he brought you back into it. The hustle, loyalty, respect.
Like no, I'm not copying R-Truth, but John Cena is my idol.
I see.
So did you cheer him all the way? Because, you know, there's split amongst the wrestling fans, right? Like, I guess I would consider myself the internet wrestling fan, where at some point it was cool to boo him.
100%. I'm part of the C Nation.
Wow!
I see. So that means you are like last time The Rock always make fun of like the Cena fanboys.
Fruity
Pebbles.
I hated The Rock for that, you know.
So you,
oh my God.
you bought a white shirt, you bought a orange shirt, you bought a purple purple shirt, all that.
I have the rise above head shirt that I wore it all the time. I have another one. It's crazy.
Wow, man, that's respect. No, but it's interesting because I grew up in a generation where I kind of at the tail end of the Attitude Era. So The Rock was my guy.
Right.
And then when ruthless aggression happened, I gravitated more towards Randy Orton. So I was always a Randy guy more than Cena guy because I thought Randy was cool. And
So
then like Cena,
how do you watch the Attitude Era in Singapore? They also showed it on Channel 5.
okay, they didn't, but I got into VCD collecting just like you. I
Oh.
remember, but I think I started off a few years earlier. I'm only a 92 baby, so technically I'm only a year older, but I've discovered wrestling way earlier. My first DVD that I bought was, I remember very clearly, Juchak Complex. They had like a DVD shop in Geylang, and then they sold, I believe, Capital Carnage is a UK exclusive pay-per-view in 1998.
Whoa.
And the main event was crazy because imagine I'm only 6 years old at this point in time. Main event was Undertaker versus Kane versus Stone Cold versus Mankind in a fatal 4-way Capital Carnage main event. And then the special guest referee, I don't know, you guys remember Vinnie Jones?
Yes.
Vinnie Jones was like a footballer from who became an actor, right?
Yeah.
But at that point in time, he was a big deal. He played for Wimbledon and he was like a hooligan, like you know. So it was like it was like a UK crowd, like a football crowd chanting, and then it was the main event was like these 4 badasses.
Yeah.
The co-main event was The Rock, full corporate Rock versus X-Pac when he was the D-Generation guy. So when I was young, this was what I saw. So I'm like, I'm done. This is gonna be me for life. I'm gonna be a wrestling fan for life. So I religiously bought VCDs of the pay-per-views from 1998. That means like Unforgiven with the Inferno match all the way, I think, until they stopped producing DVDs in 2014. So like I have like perhaps like you, like probably a storeroom full of like DVD collection which I had to unfortunately give away when the WWE network started. And my dad was like, "Hey, you're done. Throw all this away." So I gave it all away. But yeah,
hey,
that was my introduction.
The two of you are making me feel like a freaking ancient man over here. My earliest memory is coming home on a Saturday to watch WWF Superstars to see Hulk Hogan and Macho Man feud.
What the heck? It's so long ago.
Like, I legit, my first memory is the golden era, which for you guys, I'm sure it's like you guys see in like packages, right? Like, oh, you know, back in the day, Hulk Hogan, Big Boss Man, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was my childhood. So,
Were you were you aware or like were you old enough to remember when Macho Man came on Channel 5 TV, like a talk show?
Yes.
Yeah. So apparently there was a show that WWF held in Singapore in 1993, and I remember Macho Man, I think Warrior or whoever came down, like from that new generation era, right?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So if you dig the archives, you can find like literally like Macho Man sitting on the stage talking to Phua Chu Kang, or I can't remember.
Yeah, something like
yeah. You
no, and then
check.
They had, it's one of these like variety shows, right? And then they had like Undertaker dress alike contest. You know, you get random fans come on stage dressed like the Undertaker, or dong, that kind of stuff. So it was like, I don't know if like that era it was kind of mainstream because there was a local wrestling scene as well.
Yeah.
You know, like wrestlers like Tiger Jeet Singh would come to Singapore, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So it was so weird because there are eras where, like, you know, it's like local football, right? You know, everyone talk about the 70s, 90s football.
Yeah.
And there was wrestling scenes, like pockets of wrestling scenes, and it was big enough that WWF actually held a house show in Singapore because there was if you go Google or YouTube, right, there is footage of Owen Hart having a match in Singapore. So
I always assume I always assume the reason why they never came back is because they couldn't sell out the indoor stadium enough. That's my assumption.
Well, I mean, especially for now, you know, now it's like a money thing. All these, countries, they pay them millions of dollars. Okay, let's do one in Puerto Rico. Let's do one in Perth, right? Like, Singapore Tourism Board, if you're listening, please, fans will flock.
Government can pay Taylor Swift millions of dollars.
Exactly. Give us one lah. Give one for the wrestling fans. Have you been to any of the WWE shows that they've done, the house shows they've done in Singapore?
So in Singapore, memories a bit fuzzy here, but I've been to like 2 or 3. I think one when they came in like 2007 when the whole Chris Benoit thing happened, right?
I
think he was supposed to come by Singapore for like a road show to meet and greet lah. Then I remember I skipped school that day just to go and see it. I can't remember who showed up in replacement, but during that year they had a show as well.
Then
I think 2014 or what, they had 2 more shows or something like that with the main event was John Cena and Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
2015.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then after that, there was one more where I was also more sure, but I can't remember. It's just a house show, lah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been to it 3 times.
I
Nice.
see.
They can only do house shows because they, like talked about lah, like they can't sell out the indoor stadium. I don't think, right? Because it's just, I guess the market is not big enough. And the only reason they come down is because it's on the way to Japan. If they are doing a show in Japan, then they will come to Singapore. Say, okay, like make some extra money here, and then
But
They're not gonna hold a WrestleMania in Singapore.
No.
Let's
yeah,
be
like,
honest.
unfortunately, no. But
Yeah.
I would argue to Young, and I believe like with TKO now, into the group, the directors, and the fact that UFC has
UFC.
done like a UFC numbered show
Yep.
in MBS. I believe that these people now see that Singapore actually is a great destination, especially if you're trying to get the Southeast Asian market, right?
Yeah.
I
Tourism.
would like to believe the next 5 years, right, they might actually hold either like a Raw or SmackDown live from Southeast Asia and then try to market it as like a Southeast Asian show.
See, that's why we need people in the media, quote unquote influencers, people with reach, to start shouting out the gospel of wrestling, right? And not just like be closet wrestling fans like we have been for so many years.
I think we're in a good era now where wrestling is seen in a very positive light already, right? So I think I agree with you where like now more than ever, look, Singapore's the only country in Asia other than Japan that's getting Taylor Swift, right? Wrestling confirm okay one. I think it's very possible.
You brought up a great point, and I'm kind of want to transition into more about your work, right? You're working in media, doing content for SGAG. I think you would be the best person to ask, right? Have you seen like wrestling permeating into social media mainstream even more in the last couple of years from your work that you do?
I mean, aside from the obvious few like the You Can't See Me, John Cena, the RKO out of nowhere, I honestly not really. Like even things like acknowledging the tribal chief, right? You don't really see that in mainstream media yet. You don't see that yet.
Do you feel like how wrestling always have peaks and valleys, right? There was a very long down period after Attitude Era. Do you feel we are on the cusp of possibly another golden generation?
Or the social media era.
The Triple H era, right? I'm very excited for this, right? So that's why I like to do my part to introduce wrestling more. So when I did the meme, right, on the way I was watching the press conference on TikTok, man. Then I'm like, you know what? So easy to meme. Let's just do it, lah, right?
A lot of people are calling this like the cinema era. I don't know whether it will take off, but cinema era feels like a potentially that this might be what it is, right? Like especially when it's going on Netflix. How do you feel about that news? The fact that we're gonna get it on Netflix Raw.
But I don't think it's happening in Singapore, right? Like I think it's for the overseas Netflix only, right? If I'm not wrong.
Well,
it really depends on the contract that they have with StarHub. If the contract is a contract that they can break and get out of, confirm it will go on Netflix because Netflix involved will want it.
Yeah, I think it's absolute game changer if it happens.
Being the nerd that I am, I actually read up the actual streaming deal, like the actual press statement. So apparently, for the WWE Raw, the rights to Netflix is for North America, Latin America, and UK, where it's exclusive to Raw. But starting 2025, for the rest of the world, the market, right, Netflix will stream the other shows as well. Raw, SmackDown, NXT pay-per-views, and WWE Network content. So based on that general statement, I like to assume that includes Netflix Singapore as well. That means they get access to all these as well.
I think it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But that being said as well, like I know that there's a case, I can't remember if I read about it, it was for India or whatever, because they have an existing contract with a cable company, they cannot broadcast Raw or SmackDown. So I think it really boils down to whatever contract they have with StarHub. So if we can dig this up somehow, then,
But I tell you one thing that, I mean, I don't want to attack any individuals, but this is one thing that's preventing me from openly showing my love for wrestling more. And please feel free to cut this out if you feel.
Go ahead.
So again, no disrespect to the person, but every time I wear a wrestling shirt in public, right, I'm very worried someone's going to call me Kurt Day.
Bro!
Triggered!
Dude, I know 100,000. Yes! That, bro. I don't know how many times it's pissed me off, right? When, bro, look, I don't know if you can see in the background, I have one of these.
Yes.
I have the title, the undisputed title. Every time I have let's say I post a photo of me holding a bell or something wrestling related, some jackass is gonna be like, good there, good. I'm like, oh, and that guy has single-handedly ruined the reputation of pro wrestling fans in Singapore. And here's the thing, like, I'm sorry. Like, that name triggers, bro. That name triggers me so. That name triggers me so very badly because we all love wrestling, but he gives the sport a bad name and nothing.
Yeah, you give love a bad
name.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to gatekeep. Like, obviously he can enjoy it, but why does he have to walk around with a title and do his whatever nonsense that he does, right?
Right.
Yeah,
so a couple of weeks ago, SGAG, right, we co-organized Art Box, right? And then we had some event where we had to do obstacles on stage and I was hosting, right? So I decided, hey, let's wear a big John Cena t-shirt with his name on it, right? And then I wear it, right? But then after that, I was feeling very excited, and I knew someone called me Curtin number 2, then I'm like instantly.
It just down it, man.
It just kills your mood, right?
Yeah. Hey, sure, you want to hear some tea or not? Okay, we got some tea to share with regard to Kurt Tay.
Don't lah.
No. I feel we need to say it because I think that whole episode, I think, like, really soured us in terms of, like, man, we're not going to waste our time with getting guests who don't want to be on the show anymore. Remember, Mr. Young?
Yeah, okay. So do you want me to tell this story?
Yeah, you should tell what is your story.
You're going to get me angry, riled up again. So, I don't know if you remember, a while ago, Kurt Tay had this thing where he got his ass handed to him by some other... He filmed it in Yishun, right? And
the Void Deck, right?
Void Deck fight. Yeah, the Void Deck fight, right? And then he got his ass handed to him. So I was like, okay, he's this guy who's been associated with pro wrestling for the longest time. Let's get him on the podcast and talk to him about wrestling. Why not? So I reached out, right? Whatever. No, wait, we mentioned that we would like to get him, but I didn't reach out. I think somebody heard it and got him to reach out to me.
Okay.
And he said, long story short, he was like, how much you gonna pay me? I was like, okay, like, our guests, we all share this love for pro wrestling. We want to promote it. It's not a paid thing, right? And like Foreign brought up, we got people like Chris Van Vliet, for crying out loud. Like he, look at him now. You know what I mean? Like, he loves wrestling so much. He will go on whatever podcast just to talk about it, right? Yourself, you have quite the following also, and you're here with us. And I don't think we've sent Sean a check, have we? Sean's right now like, shit, I should have made them pay.
Oh, you mean I didn't know we could get paid for this?
No, but we rejected it because we're not gonna pay you to come on and like we were trying to promote wrestling here, like and he just looks at it as an opportunity to make money. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then you know what's the worst part, right, Mr. Young? I was telling, we were talking about it, and then we were trying to rationalize. Does it even make business sense to give this guy a platform or not? Like, are we gonna ruin our name? Like, because we just want to give him a very fair chance to talk about his wrestling fandom. Maybe we can uncover a side of it where, he's generally a wrestling fan. This is his way to express it. Maybe he's misunderstood. Like, I was being devil's advocate for this guy. And then Young was like, no, don't give a shit, man. He's just he want to get money. Whatever we give it, just promotion for him. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I think let's just crap. It was a bad experience.
I wouldn't give him a Starbucks voucher, okay? I wouldn't give him a time of day, crying out loud, this guy.
Dear God. Yeah. So I think
no loss.
No loss.
No loss. No, but I feel that what's so funny was, like, after that, right, experience, I think we kind of like, it kind of not say scared us off, but it turned us off for actually inviting guests, because when we started the podcast, right, we were having like weekly guests, whether it's like the local wrestlers or like, some of the fans, or we might even have like very small, like, if as long as you're involved in wrestling somehow, we will get you. So for example, like a guy who's like a photographer and graphic designer who covers all the SPW events, we talk about him. We even got like the referees from some of the local promotions talk about it. So like, any Tom, Dick, and Harry got a bit of a link, right? We just want to talk about their fandom and get them on board.
Yeah.
But after the experience, we were like, you know what? I think we should just focus on like building our own brand and just, building the community authentically, as opposed to trying to get people, who have their own agenda just to get views. Like, we don't have a big following, but we have a very engaged, community, which I'm proud to say that we've done that, despite all the Kurt name bashing that us local wrestling fans get, which is sad.
Hey, but I have an agenda for today. I want I want
Okay.
more people to be aware of wrestling. I want
Okay.
to know that
Yes.
it's a good thing to
It
be
is.
a wrestling fan.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It is. And
That is the idealistic agenda, and that's what we're all striving for in the ideal as
Yeah.
well.
yeah, and we want the quote unquote closet wrestling fans to come out and say, yes, I watch pro wrestling, and what of it? You know, it's entertainment. And, you know, talking about it, right, like what the WWE have done recently with Logan Paul, Bad Bunny, getting in all these celebrities. Like, when you first heard about Logan Paul, did you think this was a good idea, or were you like a bit hesitant at first?
Okay, so I know he's a controversial character, right? But
Yes.
I personally didn't really watch his YouTube stuff beforehand. So you know the Suicide Forest and all, right?
Yeah.
It didn't
Yep.
really dawn on me as much as
Yep.
the other people. And like the crypto thing or whatever, I didn't really read much about it. So to me, right, I was just like, all right, let's see how you do in the ring. And honestly, right, he's one of my favorites now. Like I would genuinely buy a Logan Paul figurine.
Bro, have you bought Prime Energy drink yet? I hear they're selling it at NTUC already.
I cannot find. I
Oh,
tried
is
to find
it?
the cheaper version,
Okay.
like vending machine $12 the one.
Yeah,
But
no, that's mad. Like $12 for a drink, crazy.
Sean, you'll be happy to know because I've been to Perth a lot of times in the last couple of years. They have Prime in all the convenience stores. So you just go down, you go buy, bro. Just get some Prime on you, man.
yeah, I'm so curious. Like people tell me it's like Gatorade 100 plus. I really want to try it out. Like wow.
Yeah. It's very interesting because we always talk about how can we get people to watch, and like it's also as if like WWE is using the same strategy. You're trying to get like a very popular local influencer that has really organic following, like Bad Bunny, Logan Paul. So I've brought it back to this question to you as well, as like you are an influencer, you have you have a reach. In what way do you think in the Singapore context can we get people to watch wrestling? Because I think you've cracked the code. You make memes and relate it somehow. But other thoughts as well. Do you have any idea like how do we get people back on the train?
Wow, I think first and foremost, it helps that the product now is really good, right? And the rest, I think if the product is good, the rest of it comes a lot easier, right? Like if
Yep.
it's still in the Divas era doing bra and panties matches, I think it's a bit harder to
Promote.
promote, right?
Well,
Now,
then again, you could promote it in a different way that will get a lot
Yeah.
of people to watch. But yeah, not in the social media, quote unquote, cancel culture way.
yeah, right.
It
So
wouldn't happen now, yeah.
the question is, how do we like get Gen Zs interested in wrestling now, right? And I mean, if I had the answer, I'll be doing it right now, lah. But I do what I can on the platform that I'm given. I have to try to use more.
It's funny that you mentioned that. So like
Sorry, I scared Chinese New Year. I think I do a bit too many wrestling memes.
oh yeah, somebody was I think somebody was like, hey, this guy really wrestling. SGAG has turned into a wrestling content page or something like that, right?
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, no, I was saying that you brought up a great point. Like we are all using our given platforms that we have to kind of like push wrestling into the mainstream. So I don't know whether you know this about Mr. Young. And Young, I'm gonna angkat your bola a bit, but feel free to reject me when I say it.
Okay.
But when I was growing up, I actually know about Mr. Young with the Dan and Young show on 987 and all that. So how I remember Mr. Young, how he stood out to me was because in his like solo show or something on his radio promo, he actually mimicked Mr. Kennedy in the way he introed his name. Remember this?
With the mic dropping down and all that.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, Mr. So okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can relate in that sort of a way, but I feel like the WWF, WWE presentation, the way they talk, the way they produce their segments, and maybe because I'm super interested in these things as well, right? Like editing videos and stuff like that, it has influenced me in a huge way. The way I cut audio, the way, it's like, I feel like a lot of it has to do with watching pro wrestling. Like, I'm sure growing up, you remember all the vignettes and the video packages that peak WWE. Vignettes, right? They're like, holy shit, that's so cool. And then when they put it to a certain song, you get emotional and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of that, watching that growing up, has trained my sort of the way I produce things when it comes to videos and audio. So yeah.
100%, I agree with you. But for me, it's in a different way. Let me explain to you. So growing up in secondary school, right? Like most people seem to struggle with English, right? And my English, to me, it was never a problem. I scored A's for my English, and people always ask me, "What's your secret?" And honestly, it's because from watching wrestling and hearing the time.
Yes.
And now when I'm doing a bit of hosting and acting, right? Because over at SGAG when we do videos, we don't really do like bad guy characters, right? But to me, I love playing bad guy characters because you need a
Playing
bad
the
guy with a
heel.
good guy look. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's helped me when I'm hosting, especially like some things you can't just speak normally, right? You gotta like The Rock, for example, or John Cena, enunciate certain words, pause at certain places. I think it has inspired me so much in my life and my career now, just like you.
Yeah.
I'm curious to ask, because both of you are hosts, right? What is a wrestling analogy? Oh no, not the analogy, but what is like a something that from wrestling that you put in terms of how you host or like how you interact with the crowd?
Suck it. No, you really go say, suck it.
Hey,
No,
Mr.
no, I think what it is the energy and the presence. You know, you talk about like wrestlers, and when we talk about it to wrestlers as well, like Andrew, the statement tank, right? Like he always talks about the second you walk into a room, like, oh, he has a presence. I think stage hosting also, you need to have a presence when you come out there. You can't do hello, everybody, hello. Like nobody's gonna listen to you. You know, and the best wrestlers have presence. John Cena, the second he gets on the mic in the ring, he commands the arena. He listens to what people are saying. He reacts accordingly. The best do it like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, like even when you look at somebody like like Randy Orton, he doesn't talk a lot, but it's all about his body language, how he presents himself, projects himself, right?
That quiet confidence, yes.
Yeah, and so a very funny thing, because you have the platform of your SGAG and memes, and Young has radio. So for me, like in my background is I'm a writer, and I actually write articles. But now I work in Property Guru, so I actually do marketing for them, and I manage their social media. So what's so funny is like a lot of like you guys, I incorporate a lot of my wrestling knowledge or how I approach my work through wrestling. And one thing I get is that people don't realize that wrestling teaches you a lot about script writing, about how to tell a story.
Well, the best wrestling. Let's
the
preface
best
that, because not the bad storylines.
No,
that
not
make
the bad
sense.
ones, not the comedy stuff. But like, I think the way wrestling plays with human psychology is very, very interesting, right? Like, how I don't know that Jake the Snake Roberts line where he said he can kind of like masturbate the audience. I know this is very, R21, but he said it in his Hall of Fame speech. He's like, I get there's no bigger high than being able to fuck around with the audience emotions.
Yes.
And I believe like this is a bit morbid, but marketing is like that, right? You put out
right?
You put out messages, and you try to put across your branding, but what you're trying to do is really trigger something within the human emotion for people to relate to your content that you're creating.
Isn't that the whole idea of making a meme as well? Like, I mean, it's to pull that emotion like that you can relate to, right? Like, even if I have no idea about this, Cody finished the story, but the way you craft the meme is about, okay, relating it to CNY, relating it to something that happens to all of us. Oh, I get the link,
And you need that controversial opinion to trigger, to evoke the emotion, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, funny you mentioned your Property Guru, right? So, very quick story, right? Like,
okay, go tell me.
I'm a big Arsenal fan as well, right? And
yes,
the Singapore Football Arsenal, the chairman his lands. I think he sells property or insurance also. The way he does his thing is that I scroll his IG, it's like whenever he like nails another gets another client, right? He will take a photo with them with title belt. It's like
really?
Like he holds a title belt with his new clients or something. It's
confirm fan.
Oh my god.
He's doing the Triple H thing.
Wait, can you share that with us? I've never seen that. I think it was hilarious.
Let me find it. I'll send it all later.
Okay. So does he do the Triple H handshake where he like do the point?
Whatever.
I think he should do that. Yeah,
so see, all these closet fans, the funny thing is we can identify a fellow wrestling fan, right? By the way they
them a mile away.
Yeah. Even if they're not wearing the shirt. And going back to the shirts, I always thought that wrestling shirts were a little bit too on the nose. Like I'm like, okay, John Cena, don't say like he's like bright green, bright red, right? I've never actually, other than the Smoking Skull, the old Steve Austin 316 one, or the NWO shirts, I've never, not say dared, but I never wanted to go out and wear a shirt because most shirts are quite like lame. Don't you think?
I'm not like most girls lah.
Yeah, like why has that always been a thing? You know what I mean? It's like, it's just some dude's face, for example. I'm not gonna wear Bret Hart's face on my chest. Like that's like, okay,
Yeah. Or like sometimes the front design is okay, but then at the back there's one huge design. And like,
correct, right? So I always want like, other than the Cena shirts, have you ever had a shirt that you're like, actually the design is cool enough, subtle enough that I will wear it out?
Actually, yeah, in my when I was skinnier, I had a few Finn Balor t-shirts that early on his career, his design was very minimalistic, very
Yeah.
like
Bella Club. Bella Club was
Balor
cool.
Club. Then there's the three stripes or what?
Yeah.
Those were wearable. In fact.
Yeah. It's very cool you mentioned that. Like, I really like the Bullet Club shirts when they were still really
A thing.
popular.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'm a CM Punk guy, so I love CM Punk's like best in the world. I think with the fizz, I think that's subtle enough. But I've seen like a rise. I don't know whether you guys like see in terms of culture where like a lot of clothing companies have adopted wrestling into their look. I mean, the Rock is the best example with Under Armour, right?
Wearing it right now.
Yeah, there you go. Hardest worker in the room.
Yeah.
Plugging kick to the gut, KTTG. But
Yeah.
Right.
but I think like there's this brand that I really like called Roots of Fight. I don't know whether you've heard of this clothing brand.
No, like,
Okay, so Roots of Fight is like a San Francisco brand where they like promote athletes and create like custom athlete shirts. So like Muhammad Ali. So they actually Rey Mysterio walked out to a Roots of Fight shirt where it's like Muhammad Ali like in big letters. And they've been doing a lot of collaboration with wrestlers. So like they have like a Rey Mysterio line, they have a Bret Hart line, they have a CM Punk line which they just put out. And it's all like they wear bomber jackets with a bit of like very subtle detailing. Like I think in terms of swag and drip, like that's the way they should do it. They should be very subtle.
And they are very
go all out.
Yeah, they're very smart about it because they're very subtle. It's clothes like, something that we would dare to wear out and not be called out instantly. And also they price it at like what, freaking $50, $60 a shirt. I'm like, wow. Well, then again, WWE t-shirts are also not that cheap if you think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 30, 40 plus.
30, 40.
Right?
Yeah.
Then
But
shipping it more.
yeah, but if you pay double, you get this slightly more subtle Bret the Hitman Hart, like, best, what was it? Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be, the kind of thing. I'm like, I wouldn't mind paying, and the quality, okay lah, the WWE, especially their official shirts, the quality a bit rabak one lah,
Very scratchy cardboard.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you wear already, you feel itchy. But the Roots of Fight, they're smart. They're like, okay, let's upmarket this. Let's make it a little bit more like softer cotton. It feels nice to wear. You look like you're making a fashion statement rather than I support CM Punk.
Yeah, I'll send you the Instagram profile, Sean. You can check it out. Yeah, because I literally ordered from San Francisco the CM Punk shirt, and it looks damn cool. Yeah, okay. Okay, this is a great.
Then I have a question for you. What wrestling shirts do you all have now that you all actively wear in public now?
Actively,
The Rock is the only one. I will wear an NWO shirt. I have an NWO shirt. They gave me, like 2K gave it to me when they were launching was it last year's game? They had an NWO version?
No,
like
I
a
think
special edition?
20,
2 years ago.
2 years ago, I think
2021.
Yeah. So I have that. I will wear that, but that's about it.
Okay, I went to in 2019 I went to Tokyo and I caught like a New Japan show. And so I found out from a couple of like my wrestler friends that they have a big like chain of like wrestler like New Japan apparel shops. And to me especially because I like Japanese culture, I feel like their gear, the New Japan merch is amazing, like really like stylish as fuck. Like I think I bought like a Bullet Club and I bought like a Switchblade like zipper jacket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and I walk around in it, like to me it looks cool. It looks like high like street fashion from Japan. He's
hipster lah. It's slightly more hipster.
Yeah.
And plus, nobody knows Switchblade outside of Japan. So no, I'm kidding. I just triggered all the New Japan fans. Oh,
wait, but I tell you on the shirt that we're all going to EC, right? I'm assuming.
Well, I'm not. I won't be.
Oh, you're not
the
going.
two of us. Yeah.
Lucky lah, you guys. Okay, go.
What I really want to buy is the Judgment Day Finn and Rhea and Dom, and I think that shirt okay. I think okay.
Oh my god,
the one with R-Truth at the bottom.
Live, laugh, and love.
I don't know whether they're still selling there or not. Now that we'll see.
Okay, that's really cool. Okay, that's a great segue because I was just about to ask you, right, like in terms of Elimination Chamber, how excited? Because I've been looking at your IG story, you were like 7 more days in the best days of my life. Like,
yes.
Tell me about like your plan for the trip.
Hang on. Before we get to that, I also want to ask you, like, you've talked about some of the local shows you've been to. What about like overseas shows? Have you been to a house show, Raw, SmackDown, tapings?
Okay, before I answer you this, can I just slide it in that I used to train for SPW and I fought one match before.
Is it?
Wait, tell
when
us
was this?
Give us context. What's happening?
But it was quite long ago. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago when they were still at the old building along near Tai Seng area there lah. No, Tai Seng is the new area now.
Yeah.
So I think I just saw they had, because I'm always aware of their existence. Then one day I was like, you know what? I have adult money now. Let's go for the training, right? And then I think I trained for almost a year, but on off lah, because I only went like once a week or what. And they did like a
showcase,
a house show thing for the new talents and all lah. It wasn't at Fuchao building. It was like in their area there where we invited friends and I wrestled a triple threat match. Me, another newbie, we fought against the butcher.
Wow.
Okay, so my next question is there video of this? And where can we find this video? Is it on YouTube or something?
It's on YouTube, but I'm not sure whether it's unlisted or not. If you are, I can show you. It's a 5-minute match only lah. But
Is this like new breed or something? I know they have like a term for it. Like
there's a name for it. I can't remember what's the name already.
Yeah. I got it. Okay, so very briefly, how was that experience and why are you not wrestling after that? Why you stop wrestling after that?
Alright, I think it was. I mean, the cliche answer is a dream come true to be able to run the ropes, take bumps, and do all those, right? But I think the reality for me is that because I did a lot of martial arts back then also. I did like jiu-jitsu and I've had lingering injuries from those. And then in my line of work, right, Chinese call it 靠脸吃饭 lah. I need to rely on this to earn money, right? So I realized maybe it's not the best choice of action to continue full time. In case something happens, then I can't really work normally anymore.
I see. Okay, wait. So why did funny Punjabi guy reply to my comment and say that, oh, this guy is a failed wrestler, that's why he ended up doing memes instead?
Because I went for it. I quit.
Shit. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well.
Your question, right? Overseas shows, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very proud to say that last year I actually went to Los Angeles in April for WrestleMania, both nights.
Oh wow, that's the dream.
There you go.
Very proud to say, but I mean Cody lost, so
Did you get like front row? Did you go all out?
Nah, I think as an Asian, right? We're not very tall.
Sure.
And the front row is all the same level one, right?
Yeah.
People stand up, you confirm cannot see anything.
Cannot see, yeah.
And
oh man.
I'm a big fan, but I'm not big enough to spend like $10,000 on the seats, lah, right?
I see.
I
So
feel
you
like
got like a
it's-
package trip lah, essentially. Still a package trip lah.
I think we bought like just a la carte tickets lah, because I think the seats we wanted to wait to see whether they're cheaper or not.
Right.
So we paid 700 per night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Worthwhile
I'll be
tickets.
lying if I said the view was great lah. We had to look at the thing on top the entire time. The Hell in a Cell match, couldn't see anything at all.
Right. But it was for the vibes, like it's for just being
the
there. It's just being there, right? Did you go with friends? Did you go with like
So I'm very fortunate to have a group of friends who equally share the same passion for wrestling, right? And
awesome.
we actually meet at one of the guys' houses every big pay-per-view, every big PLE events to watch it.
wow.
And we are going next week also to watch EC.
Sweet, nice.
Awesome. Okay, you know what, Sean? Like, if I'm there, EC, if you're at the press conference or you're at the whichever, I'll try to come and find you. Let's take a picture and get to know all
let's
your
meet
guys.
each other. But I mean, I'm not going for Undertaker show lah, so please enjoy it on my behalf.
Okay, no problem. I think the press conference will be the most possible one.
Yeah, possible. I think Randy Orton and Triple H is going to be there, right?
Woo. Yes, amazing.
I'm feeling very left out right now. The two of
Sorry,
you going
Mr.
to this
Young.
EC.
Sorry
Wow,
with the
bloody hell.
FOMO.
I've never been to a pay-per-view before. I've been to SmackDowns, I've been to house shows, but never a pay-per-view before, because to me, in my mind, it's either Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, and that's it. Like,
That's right.
because you have to pay so much just to travel there, especially if you're going to the US. Like, I feel like if I ever go to WrestleMania, I will freaking just go all out. Front row, because I'm there already, and it will be once in a lifetime. Maybe twice if I'm lucky, because I cannot justify to my wife spending any that amount of money. You know what I mean? So it's like a one-time experience for me, I feel. Because I'm not making that sort of baller money where I can just go every year. Oh, you know, that kind of thing.
Radio DJ not very rich or man.
No, lah, bro. No. We're in a different era, my guy. We're in a different era.
Sure. You just see his background. You see all the collectibles. You know.
See, that's the problem. I wasted all the money. This is my level. I've peaked here. This is what I've accumulated, you know.
Sorry, for me, it's only wrestling books and like front row collectible tickets.
Look at this learned man reading books.
I stepped with it. I just put bookshelf, but actually only got 2 wrestling books. The rest all alone.
You sure not? You're not using the wrestling books to like whack people, hardcore match or foreign object.
I'm
No,
good.
but
I'm good.
I mean, like it's a cliche, but it's the dream of every fan to attend. Maybe not WrestleMania, but and a PLE live,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. What made you decide LA WrestleMania had to be the mecca for you to go?
The Mecca, I like that, Okay, so I think as working adults, you realize actually we have money to go overseas one. Actually, it's not
Yeah, sure.
not like as unobtainable as it sounds, right? You
Yeah.
can't all the time, but then you realize actually you fly over there because we flew SQ. I think it was what we bought 1,000 for the tickets only, which was fine, okay, and
1,000 only to
1,000
LA?
only, yeah. We bought it like 10 months in advance lah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it's
That's
a
not-
very planned trip.
Yeah, so you just, I mean, I'm fortunate to be able to be paid to do what I love, right? And no, in no way at all I'm saying I'm rich or what lah, but I'm able to save. You can just save up for a few months and then can afford one of these holidays. But I financially haven't recovered from that yet lah. But
Until now, 1 year later, still recovering.
Worry later lah.
Okay, that's incredible. When you're talking about EC as well, right? Like, do you feel like because all these like cities are bidding for pay-per-views, you see how TKO is approaching PLEs nowadays. They're having a show in Puerto Rico. They're having a show coming up, in France, Germany. Do you feel like is this gonna be their plan? Right? They're trying to go for world domination, trying to outsource all their pay-per-views to different cities.
Wow, I'm not sure because I don't know whether you all see on TikTok now. The Americans are complaining / making fun of how they have to stay up until like 4 a.m.
Screw them lah, pabuto.
Yeah, like if they want, then they can watch AEW lah. I mean, if they want to just be stuck in their little North American world,
Yeah, but I think, ultimately it's an American company, right? So I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but absolutely, right? This is the way to globally expand, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. 100%. And TKO have that track record because of the UFC. UFC does stuff all over the world as well.
Yeah. One last thing though, when you talk about like pay-per-views, right? You guys remember last year Money in the Bank in London when John Cena came out and he's apparently trying to, propaganda, trying to pitch to get WrestleMania in London?
I think it's going to happen, right? If he said it like so openly like that, right? I think it's going to happen maybe in 3-4 years.
Well, it's also to sort of get the ball rolling because AEW had their big thing over in London at Wembley. So it was just to okay, we're going to do it too. Ha ha ha. Maybe not. I don't know, right?
Yeah. Okay, wait. I'm curious. I know it's a side topic, but you watch or you don't watch AEW at all?
Okay, so the short answer is that I'm a hardcore WWE fanboy.
Okay.
I reject the rival promotion.
Oh, did you try when they first came out and they're like, oh, we are the alternative sports-based entertainment, Chris Jericho? I
watched a bit here and there, things like Adam Copeland and all, like here and there I watch and Sting, right? And
I refuse to call him Adam Copeland. I know this is his real name, but
right?
good God, they've completely butchered Edge.
But I think it's a lot of wrestling to watch, and to me, WWE is enough for me. I don't hate AEW. I don't. It's just it's too for lack of a better word, right? It's too smucky for me already.
Interesting.
Like you need to know all the inside things, the BTE and stuff. No need lah. I don't want. Too much homework.
No, but that is a very valid point, and that's the criticism that we've had because we when I was still watching, I realized force myself to watch it, and then a lot of times the big criticism is they are doing a lot of inside speak. You have to know. If you don't know, then you don't know. But then it makes the story make no sense. Or why is he attacking him? Oh, because they had a feud back in Japan 5 years. Who the hell is supposed to know that? You know what I mean? It's at some point you're like, okay, no, I cannot be expected to know what happened 10 years ago in Osaka. No, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everyone's attention span is so short already.
Yes.
Yeah. People wouldn't care one.
Yeah. And which is why, we've always talked about, what is your biggest memory of WrestleMania, for example? For me, it's Rock versus Hogan. By no means is it a good match. It's quite a dog shit match if you think about it. But it was a moment.
The audience reaction made it a 5-star match.
Yes, no, that's exactly the point though, right? Like, technically, it wasn't a great match by any stretch of the imagination, but we all remembered it because it was an amazing moment. WWE is about creating moments that people will remember, and now they try to make these moments go viral with the slap, with the blah, 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 that kind of thing. So,
I mean, okay, before, I mean, we would love to have you continue with us in terms of previewing Elimination Chamber, but I just want to kind of get some context for you right now. Like, how often are you watching like WWE these days? How are you keeping up with the news? And who are some of like your favorite wrestlers that you know you are very invested in right now?
Like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, everything you pao liao.
So honestly, as working adults, right? Singapore busy lah, no time to watch the full show, right?
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
So usually I just see the highlight because what WWE is doing is great. On YouTube, they upload like the 3-minute clips, right? It's so easy to keep up.
Yes.
And now in the TikTok age, right? When the thing happens, within 5 minutes, people already upload it already, you know. So that's how I consume it regularly, right? Like it's so easy to keep up. But I watch mainly Raw, SmackDown, and a bit of NXT. Like I'm still hoping Dante Chen will make it one day, right?
You all want to hear some spoilers?
No, but I know. I saw these.
Okay.
Oh no, really? Okay, then we don't spoil. They don't spoil for next week's SmackDown.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't say. we all like okay.
We all read it also. We see the.
Yeah. No, but it's exciting, right? It's like a Singapore guy.
I mean, when you say exciting, from what I read, it wasn't.
Wow. Okay lah. You know. Anyway. Okay. Let's not carry on.
So Dante Chen is your NXT guy. Okay. Who else is your wrestling? Are you a fan of?
Wow. I honestly before Roman turned heel, right? I love the whole cheesy. The big the I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy.
Wow.
You seem to love all the cheesy baby faces. Is that a trend?
I think the world could use more positivity, so I need more heroes.
Okay,
well, you know, actually, you see, here's the thing, and we often, because I feel like sometimes, right, Foreign, we can go down that road of we are too smart for our own good. But we forget that the mainstream, most of the people who are there enjoying it love the John Cenas, they love the cheesy. We are not about that whole, we want to be alternative.
Simple storytelling lah, very straightforward. You know who's the good guy, who's the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly, right. So sometimes we can, fall into that, we are so smart. We are smart. You're all like, peasant, common WWE fans.
No disrespect to like the technical wrestlers, right? But I cannot appreciate like a 1 hour match. I cannot appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
Give me a half an hour ladder match or a hardcore match instead,
What about in terms of female wrestlers? Who have you been like really supporting or like really enjoyed their work?
Female wrestlers, honestly, this is a throwback, but Michelle McCool was one of my favorites back then.
Wow. Lay Cool. You enjoyed Lay Cool?
I mean, not the Piggy James angle lah.
Poor Mickey James. Yeah.
Female. I mean, because back then, when the Divas era was in full swing, right? I still kid then my parents walking around, I cannot watch the bra and panties match like that.
Of course.
It's always they will walk in when something sus is happening on TV. Vince McMahon is doing we're not gonna get in that whole topic. But but you know what I mean? Like it's like they walk in only, it's like Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler doing bra and panties match. So what are you watching?
But if I answer you right, Sable was always my favorite.
Hey, Sable naughty, Sable. She very naughty. I cannot. I'll just leave it. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it because I was primary 5 when I bought Judgment Day 2003 VCD, and if your memory serves you correct, you will know exactly what I'm talking about.
It was was it the match where Linda threw the towel?
No, that was no, that one is No Mercy. So Judgment Day, it was a very throwaway pay-per-view, but the most famous thing from that pay-per-view was Tori Wilson versus Sable in an evening gown match.
Oh boy.
They all just tripped into the
that's the whole point lah.
That was my core memory, and until now, bro, you know what? When I was primary 5, and I'm very ashamed, and I'm also kind of like proud to admit this. My password was Tori Wilson. my
God.
password was Tori Wilson.
Are you sure it wasn't puppies?
No. It's all good.
Okay. Let's talk easy.
We all very thirsty, yeah. I realize
Wow,
that.
hey, growing up, young boys. You know
Yeah,
what
just
you
growing
gonna
up.
do.
Now all mature men ready.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Relationships. Okay. We look for the the proper things in life. Let's talk about Elimination Chamber and maybe preview it a little bit. Okay, I have the card in front of me. Shall we go
Okay.
through the card? Match
Yeah,
by
let's
match?
do it.
Oh,
Let's do
because
it,
there are
man.
only 4 matches actually currently listed right now.
So
Yeah.
little.
Yeah. Which
Officially.
officially. Well, because the Elimination Chamber matches are going to be super long.
And there's going to be the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes and Seth, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Which might lead to someone else appearing. I'm just saying.
Something's going to happen, right? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. I've seen some weird theories. Do you want to hear
Go for it.
about the whole thing? Did you watch SmackDown, by the way, this past SmackDown?
Yeah.
Where The Rock comes out and joins the Bloodline, right? Did you?
Bloodline.
Yeah, yes. So did you see when he raises his hand, he does this instead of this? So A, that's one, right? And
Wait,
B,
what does that mean though?
loser? Bloodline loser. And then there's the other, and people have been talking about it in the comment section. If you notice when he cuts the promo about Cody Rhodes, he's like, I'm going to make sure you lose at WrestleMania. And they switch the angle. It looks like he's looking at Roman Reigns. You've seen this, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you think that when he whispered into Cody's ear, he whispered, I'm going to infiltrate the bloodline? That is the conspiracy theory that's going on. Yes.
You know what I think he whispered to Cody? I think he said, good luck main eventing Backlash.
Oh dear God. Oh poor guy. Yeah. No. I've heard about this, but they call it the WrestleMania 14 theory. You all know about the WrestleMania 14 theory?
Yeah, we talked about that last week, what?
Yeah, we talked about it last week, but I think for context for Sean, remembered when the WrestleMania main event was Stone Cold and DX Shawn Michaels, and then they had Mike
Tyson, yeah.
Yes. So Mike Tyson was brought in by DX, right?
Yeah.
But then in the course of the match, he actually turned on
Turned.
DX and sided with, Stone
Stone
Cold.
Cold.
Yep,
So
yep.
I think it's exactly what it is, because we were just saying that The Rock cannot stay heel for too long. His ego
Yeah.
needs to be made the baby face.
Wait. And then I heard one more theory that I actually really like, right? So we
yeah.
go along these lines. The Rock turns on Roman, helps out Cody, right?
Yep.
But who screws Cody? Seth
Rollins.
freaking Rollins.
Oh.
Double turn!
Oh!
And Roman Reigns keeps his title all the way so he can break Hulk Hogan's record.
Hogan's, yes.
Yeah. And then you have Reigns versus Rock for next WrestleMania, the Netflix WrestleMania.
So the main event is going to be so overbooked, but I'm here for
I'm here
it.
for it.
my personal belief, right? And I'm very superhero inspired, in case you haven't realized it. So it's going to be. I want to happen is like when Solo comes out, when The Rock comes out, right? And then it's going to be an endgame moment. I don't know whether you all read this before or not. When all the past guys that Roman just wrong, right, just shows up.
Oh my God.
The portal scene, you mean?
The portal scene, that's right.
Oh my
So
god.
you're saying everyone from 2020 that lost to Roman Reigns was just going to appear and face him?
Except for Bryan Danielson and Edge lah.
Oh yeah,
of course.
So they all come out to stop the bloodline from interfering so that Cody can have his like
So
triumphant
Cody can
moment.
get the clean victory. I mean, he has to, right? If Cody loses,
Yeah.
he cannot lose twice in a row, right?
Yeah,
No, it can't happen.
Yeah. I think they will just do a disservice to the fans who have been invested in this. I think they don't want to screw up anyone, and I think that they don't really care about breaking Hogan's title. I think it's more about finding the right time to drop the title to put over the company.
I hope so.
The 4 matches. Okay, let's run through those. Those
come. You got Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship. Can we all agree this is a side quest and she's not gonna lose?
I'm disappointed that Nia Jax is her opponent.
Well, like I said, she needed somebody legitimate, like a big threat. And well, that's what we got lah. We all know that she's gonna move on to WrestleMania to face whoever lah.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
Would you be disappointed if just to fuck around with us, right? But also to give Rhea Ripley the hometown rub, they make this the main event of the show?
No lah.
Wow.
Because he's the welcoming hometown hero.
No.
Right? I mean,
this will be the one that opens the show, I think.
If she's defending it in the chamber, right, maybe still can main event.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. She's
But
not,
this is
yeah.
technically a one-on-one match, right?
So
Yeah.
no way.
No
no
way.
way.
Okay. So we're gonna kick off Elimination Chamber with hearing Mami and Nia
Actually,
Jax, right?
wait. Usually they bookend the gimmick matches, right? So that means the women's Elimination Chamber should start the show, shouldn't it? Because like, you know, Rumble, they have one Rumble to start, one Rumble to end.
But you can't have the championship match in the middle of the card, right? That's very out of place, right?
But it's
I
the
mean, they do whatever they want like this.
yeah, that's true. Whatever
unless,
fits.
right? Unless Nia Jax loses and takes someone's spot in the chamber, you know. I mean, we've seen that done
Oh.
before, right?
Wait,
And
If you guys remember, they actually have a last chance match or like last chance battle royal to see who's the final entrant for the women. So
yeah, that's correct. And let's talk about that Elimination Chamber women's match. Because, okay, we move on from Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, huh? Like, all three agree, Rhea Ripley win, huh?
100%.
Like 100%. Okay, there you go. Okay. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and the winner of that aforementioned Battle Royale. Is it happening on next SmackDown or next Raw?
I believe it's this coming week, but I'm not sure which Raw or SmackDown.
So, okay, that means Nia Jax cannot be involved, because she's already got a title match. So,
She's gonna do what Edge did and like
Kofi Kingston.
and then just take the spot.
Oh, okay, yeah. That could happen, right?
Yeah, that might actually you guys might have booked it, guys.
Oh, but do we really want to see her again? Like, you know, you have
I
her
don't know.
losing to Rhea, and then you see her again in the Elimination. Don't want, right? Like,
Okay,
Royal Rumble was enough already. Don't do that again.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Who's your favorite in this match? Who you guys rooting for?
the EC.
The obvious answer is Becky, right?
Yeah. But is it too obvious?
Okay, but obvious is not a bad thing, right? When it comes to WrestleMania, if the story makes sense to me, I think okay. Like I don't want them to swerve us just for the sake of, right?
Right. What are your thoughts on Bianca? Because we've often talked about how Bianca seems like a bit like the Cena push, where at some point people just get bored.
So if you ask me, I'm okay with not seeing Bianca for now. She's had a run, right? 1 year plus as champion already, right? Like okay, I get it. Let like someone else, not Tiffany Stratton, she's still very new, right? But Becky, you know.
But then again, Becky has had the run before. So is it you just like Becky more than Bianca or what?
I think I'm biased. I think I'm biased.
Well, that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
No, I think that's very interesting that you mentioned that because a lot of people have acknowledged that, you know, Bianca needs to kind of step away from the scene, let other people step up. And with what happened at Royal Rumble, with her having that one-on-one face-to-face with Jade Cargill,
Oh, yes.
could that be like a marquee match? Could WWE kind of pull the trigger and let Jade Cargill debut a full match in WrestleMania against Bianca? That would be cool.
It depends on whether she's ready, right? From what
Yeah.
you say, right?
Yeah. I mean, they've also speculation that I think Jade Cargill was pulled out from Elimination Chamber because people thought that she might not be ready to lose at such a high profile as her first match, you know?
That's
Yeah,
true.
because technically her first match was Rumble and she didn't win it, obviously. So yeah, this would mean a second loss for her, right?
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Unless you have her do the whole replace somebody and come in the last minute and win thing.
But she has to win, all right? She can't lose.
Yeah.
But again, Jade Cargill too early as well to fight.
Yeah. Or Jade could cost Bianca somehow, and then they can go on to feud to WrestleMania lah.
Yeah,
Then you have your, But then who's the face in that? Because Bianca like forever face, and then Bianca is the one that gets like, does all the social activities. She's like kind of the poster girl for WWE, so she cannot turn heel.
But you know the reaction for Jade, right, at the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah, it was huge.
I'm so surprised people knew who she was, leh.
Yeah.
So
well, I think that's a credit to WWE though, because they've already touted her before. Like, oh, this is our newest big signing. It's not like.
I was about to say credit to AEW. They built a star.
No. F AEW. No, you know how AEW do it? AEW will say nothing about their new signing, suddenly show up and then expect people to know.
Oh man, okay.
Like it is some indie person, but no, WWE literally did vignettes, sign her. They did the whole thing on Raw as well. At least there's some exposure beforehand.
They made her to be a star, yeah.
Yes.
I got a question then. So, like for example, we all can agree that the favorite would be Becky Lynch, right?
Yeah.
But say that they're really saving this last chance entrance and giving a surprise or like putting someone that could feasibly win. Yeah. So my question is back to you guys. Who do you think should be the sixth entry if it's not Nia Jax?
Is Charlotte healthy? No, she's not.
Still injured.
Still
Still injured.
AJ Lee is a bit of a stretch, right?
A very big stretch.
You know how big that pop would be though if she shows up on Raw or SmackDown, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
What if
Literally-
Tonika is just bullshitting, but actually the person that is coming back is Sasha Banks?
Oh yeah, can you imagine Sasha Banks?
I'm still holding out hope that Okada comes to WWE, by the way.
Oh, is it?
I mean, still hope. I think we do not know yet. Very interesting because I feel like the women's roster is stacked, but like that you can clearly tell who are the main event women, who's like the mid card women, and who's not really. I mean, it's definitely not gonna be Maxine Dupri lah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's not gonna be Piper Niven. Oh wait, no, she's
Niven.
back already to Piper Niven, right? It's not gonna be
Niven,
no.
Chelsea Green, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I would like Chelsea Green to be. I think she deserves it in terms of how she's connecting with the crowd.
Yeah. I mean, because she is that comedy character that you can, sort of bring a bit of levity. But I don't want levity in a structure like this. I don't think it makes any sense. This should be a dangerous structure where you're not laughing at things. No, this is like, oh shit, they're going at it, right? So I would actually say no to Chelsea Green for this one. Put in Michael Cole has been going on about her horns on Raw.
Valhalla.
Why not Valhalla?
Yeah. One person that I actually would really, really like, even though it's like she has been actually doing quite well recently, is Michin, in my opinion.
Michin.
Yeah. They have good workers that just need a story or
Personnel,
a person. I mean,
but then if you use her, right? Sorry to cut you off. Like,
no worries.
she's not gonna win, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Tiffany Stratton is also in that spot, right? Where you're like, okay, it's not gonna be Tiff. Could it be Liv Morgan? Like, we know that WWE think very highly of her, even though personally, I've not ever been a fan of.
Do you think Liv Morgan could win the match?
Sorry?
What was I saying?
No, you saying.
I do not like Liv Morgan's finisher. The Oblivion is.
Oh yeah. It's very hard to set up. You have to hang them by the ropes.
Yeah, it's not good lah.
Yeah, a bit too much lah. Well, at the end of the day, we just hope it's not like a Natalia lah, where she's never gonna win. She's gonna come in and just smile around.
Subvert expectations. Kali is Natalia.
Can I just share with you all, like, among my group of friends that watch wrestling, right? It's a known thing that I am the biggest reverse of a supporter of Natalia. Like what's the opposite of a supporter? I don't use the word hater. I guess. Because to me, she's been there for so long, but every time she does the sharpshooter, right, the one thing that she's known for, she always looks so clunky doing the sharpshooter.
It's not that she's known for it. Her uncle is known for it. She just borrow only. That's why. Yeah. I mean, she's like that veteran who's been there a long time, so the women respect. She's probably a locker room leader as well, so they do give her flowers lah. But yeah, you know if she's there, she's not gonna win. Also, so Naomi, so she just came back. What better way to give her a bit of momentum than have her win this?
Yeah.
Naomi versus Rhea.
That is true. That's an interesting story, right? I've never seen it before. So.
Yeah, but it depends on how they're able to push her to the top again, because she's kind of still working her way back. Easing her way back into the roster.
So okay, if let's reverse book this, right? What do you want at the end? WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley to have a moment. What better way to push Rhea Ripley to the moon than have her beat Becky Lynch? So with that sort of logic, right? You work backwards. Becky Lynch has to win this already, ma?
But you're assuming Rhea Ripley is gonna get her moment again.
I think that she's at that point, right? Like you've seen Rhea Ripley. So like last year, Rhea Ripley. She wasn't at the height of her momminess. Like I feel like this is the year to just really mommy, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like just push her into the stratosphere already. Like she is at the peak, and this is the moment, right? Yeah. Like Becky Lynch moment, yes, come gone. I feel like Rhea should beat Becky at WrestleMania if that were to happen, and really solidify at Rhea as like dominant champion, next level, whatever, and then fully turn her face. Even.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can see that happening.
WWE has kind of given it away by kind of having Becky Lynch interrupt Rhea Ripley at the WrestleMania press conference anyway. So
that planting the seeds already.
Yeah, kind of a money match lah. But okay, so I guess is Becky Lynch. So
okay. Yeah. Not such a bad thing. Predictability is not such a bad thing if given the right context.
Yes.
Right. If the story is good, it's good.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the Judgment Day versus when they.
Oh, the name. Oh my god. Yes.
Yo, look, I love these two wrestlers. Okay, I love Pete Dunne. I love Tyler Bate. But what the heck is a New Catch Republic? Please explain. I'm like, huh? When they said it in the promo, the crowd was like,
What?
what do you think of New Catch Republic, Sean?
I think Mustache Mountain was a better name for them lah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, I get it. Like, what, catch wrestling, is it? Is that the whole...
Something like that lah, right?
But
But
I think...
New and Republic, how does it come together?
Yeah, your main audience won't even understand what is catch. What is like, wow. I'm surprised that Triple H said yes to this. I really am.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot better than Viking Experience.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh dear God. Yeah.
Sure.
You know, I would even don't mind they call it catch as catch can. You know, that was the term back in the 60s. At least there's some, it alludes to it, but the New Catch Republic, wow, really like they just put a random word generator, right?
Doesn't know the tongue.
No, cannot. And NCR. Nothing about New Catch Republic rolls off the tongue. Anyway, they're facing the Judgment Day. Of course, Judgment Day gonna win lah. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can I say something or not? Because like in the last 2 weeks or last week, they had like a fatal 4-way tag team match on Raw and SmackDown. So they had 4 of Raw's tag teams, 4 of SmackDown's tag teams. And then it got me thinking, right, when I saw these matches, I was like, wow, actually quietly,
Yeah.
Triple H is building up the tag team division because there's solid
It's
depth
quite
there.
stacked.
Yes,
It's
they've been
stacked,
cooking
right?
it. Yeah, and some of the matches with DIY have been really, really good.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of DIY since the NXT days. They're so good. Wow.
Yeah. Do you think that, you know, I mean, now they're on the main roster, are they, can they get back to that level of investment that the fans had during the NXT days?
I think hard like I feel like personally, and let me know your thoughts. Like whatever does well in NXT is very hard to translate over to a wider audience.
Yeah,
it's because you've seen like Karrion Kross, right, on NXT. He did so well, but I think whatever he's doing now in the main roster, right?
He's doing whatever.
yeah. I think it's like, you know, because especially when they brought over Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, I don't know what it is, but it's like they completely, well, this was under Vince, they completely ignore all the stuff that they did in NXT. It was supposed to be like a completely different thing, right? But also in a way, like, you have to retell these stories about them being friends. What worked for Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa was they started off DIY, you know, they had to go through. Yeah, and then like, what was it, Johnny who was released? But then they had petitioned him to come back, and then like
I remember this story.
So there is that connection there. None of this exists on Raw, right? So if you never watch NXT, you don't know all these stories.
Yeah.
You have to retell them lah. So now they're starting from ground zero. Start them as DIY and then have them break up later.
The problem is, right, if you guys play, you know, general manager mode on 2K, WWE 2K, right?
Sure.
The problem is, right, this whole tag team is almost like on the rivalry cooling down mode, right?
Yeah.
They already had the blow off. They told the full story, everything all in NXT. You can go watch back already.
Yeah.
Now it's like they don't need to be together doing the same thing.
Yeah. I also feel like because they've been there so long, they're not fresh anymore. Like the Creed brothers to me are very fresh and they're so good.
I love the Creed brothers
right?
so much. Wow.
Yeah.
Like you can see the potential in them and you're excited for them. Whereas with DIY, it's they are the best days are over. I don't say it like that, but it feels like it, right? Like they peaked in NXT and okay, like I don't think the Creed brothers had peaked at all. They're like way before their peak.
Yeah, they're getting there. Yeah. And then, you're right? You know, without even mentioning like the tag team champions, without even mentioning Judgment Day, you got Creed brothers on Raw, you got DIY, you got Alpha Academy, which I feel I still love them as a team together.
Yeah.
Imperium.
And then, like,
Imperium. We haven't even talked about Imperium and New Day, and it's all still just on Raw. Right? And it's crazy. And then I think SmackDown, you know, they're cooking with all the stuff that they have. So I feel like Triple H is kind of slowly building depth in all the rosters, not just the men's tag team, the women's tag team that he's trying. So effort is there.
There's a lot more effort now than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Sure.
That being said, are the New Catch Republic going to win?
I'll let you answer first.
Good try.
Okay.
Good try.
As fans of both of them,
Yeah.
I would love to see them win the title, but I mean, they are so cold as characters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Really are. Yeah. Wait, so that begs the question, right? When the hell is this Damien Priest, going to cash in his damn money in the bank? Speaking of you know what I mean? Like right now, literally, it makes sense for him to cash in none of the scenarios, unless, World Heavyweight Championship lah. Because if you insert Damian Priest into the whole Rock,
Cannot lah.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
He's not big enough of a name to get involved with that story.
You're
right?
ruining sort of what you have there already, so that doesn't even make sense. Yeah.
I think the sad part is that no one really cares about him as much now, right? Aside from the R-Truth stuff, like if he were to cash in at WrestleMania, it'll be quite a bummer, right?
Yeah. A bit. Yeah. So it's or maybe they're doing it to subvert your expectations. You forget that he's got the briefcase and then ta-da, like that's usually the best cash-ins when you've forgotten that this fella have the briefcase.
My thinking is, given that the World Heavyweight title is still going to be defended at WrestleMania, he won't cash in on Cody and Roman's match, but he will try to cash in on Seth's match with whoever is going to win. So I think that might be his spot lah if he's going to pull the trigger then.
Well, speaking of which, let's talk about what we assume will be the main event, the Elimination Chamber match for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul. Okay, let's talk about
it. First of all, how excited are you that you're going to see all this live?
Let me just answer yours straight away. Like, the fan in me wants Logan Paul to win. That's how excited I am.
Oh my god! Are you serious?
Prime. Are you serious?
Oh wow! Logan Paul versus
double champ.
They've worked before together.
Yes, my heart says Logan Paul. My heart.
No, but your head. What does your head say?
I feel like the three of us have the same answer. If we use our head, right?
Oh, okay. Why don't we try this? I count down 1, 2, 3. Then we say the name.
Okay. Let's try.
All right, here we go. 1,
2, 3.
Drew.
There you
go. Yeah, we all said
all aligned.
So is it like literally we've called every single match, so it's very, very like predictable already. If it were to be Drew, right?
Because the rest of the participants, even Randy, right? I don't see them winning it. Like it doesn't. Yeah. What story does that tell?
What I mean, who Randy versus Seth WrestleMania? What was the year where Seth did the
2015?
2015. He lost to Randy Orton, right? And then later in the night he came in to cash in. So I don't know. Maybe there's a story there. Like they've obviously faced off before.
Well, the thing is, right? Like I know you would want Logan to win, but I feel like Logan might start having a issue with LA Knight in this match, and LA Knight will challenge for the US title.
And I think he's going to win the title from Logan Paul.
So my thinking is WWE will use Logan Paul's celebrity and fandom to put over LA Knight as the guy who beat. So I think that's the story they're going to tell. They're going to get, Gunther away and focus on his title scene with Jey Uso. That's going to be a story they're going to tell for WrestleMania. And that leaves, like, literally by process of elimination, right? Bobby Lashley, not enough.
Poor thing, Bobby, like...
Bobby just feuding with,
Carrion.
They might have, like, a huge-ass six-man Final Testament versus Hurt Business, I guess.
Probably at WrestleMania. That's probably it.
They need some undercut matches, right?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. So that means you're not calling for brother versus brother at WrestleMania?
Yeah, Uso versus Uso, right?
Oh, okay. So it can work two ways, right? Either Jay can stretch out his rivalry with Gunther all the way to WrestleMania, or they haven't announced it, but they might have announced it. They might announce it on Raw this week that Jay and Gunther is gonna be at Elimination Chamber, and then they can start the story of their brothers.
That's what I thought, because I was surprised when I looked at the match card and didn't see that. I thought that match was going to happen on EC. It could still happen on Raw, but the whole thing, the premise is you can have his brother come out and cost him the IC title, and that's how you start.
I read that. I think the visa issues with Gunther, right? He can't travel. He can't leave the country or something like that. That's why.
Then do it on Raw lah. Then then you can have Jimmy screw him, and then they can start their brother versus brother.
Okay, then I have a question. Who is gonna be Gunther's opponent for the IC title at WrestleMania then?
Brock. Oh wait, no, he cannot already.
Nope, not yet. Cannot.
Only if somebody sends a photo of them. Anyway.
Hey.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Gross. Okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Right.
Who?
It leaves Gunther without any challenger,
which sucks because it was supposed to have been Gunther's big moment if it were Gunther Brock.
Yeah.
And, that really sucks.
Will Braun take over that spot?
Braun Breaker or Braun Strowman?
Braun Breaker.
Okay.
But Braun Breaker officially signed for SmackDown.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Loophole lah, can one lah.
Okay, my crazy prediction is
Mm.
Gunther does an open challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. So what if? And I know this goes back to your wet dream lah. If Okada doesn't sign for AEW,
Oh,
can you imagine though?
Wow.
Like
Okada versus Gunther.
I mean, it will make all the wet dreams of all the Dave Meltzer fanboys happy lah. I'm pretty sure. No, but I feel like if they really cannot find anyone within the company, they might do an open challenge and they might bring like a star. But I don't know whether it's Okada. It could be anyone else. But
So one theory that I've read is like they could do like a ladder match again. You know, there's like the Sami Zays, the KOs.
Oh yeah.
Thing, right?
Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn.
Right now.
Sami Zayn is not in the Elimination Chamber, so he's kind of free.
Wait. Speaking of which, okay, so you talked about about LA Knight and Logan Paul, right? Which I've heard of as far as the rumor is concerned. But what about Kevin Owens and Logan Paul? Because their thing is still kind of unfinished. You know, they're still feuding.
Is it really though? I thought Logan Paul.
Logan Paul moved on. I wouldn't want to see that.
No, because it was a not very definitive finish, if you remember, right? Like
the breast knocks, right? The referee.
Yeah, the breast knocks. Yeah, so it was like it feels like there's more. But yeah, I know what I mean. It's like, okay, yeah, we definitely want Logan Paul to put over LA Knight at WrestleMania, but then what happens to Kevin Owens?
Yeah. Very interestingly, right? Okay, I don't know about Kevin Owens' future, but I'm now focusing on Sami Zayn. If you've seen some of his backstage segments, he's been losing a lot, and then he's talking about, I want to get some redemption. Last year I was one of the most, popular or almost over wrestlers in the company.
Yes.
And don't you think there might be a way that Triple H wants to kind of reward Sami Zayn? And do you think he could be the guy challenging Gunther? Will he fill up that role well for WrestleMania? Will you want to see that match though?
Actually.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So to me, right, to me, I feel like Kevin Owens, he had his time. The past two WrestleManias, he technically main eventer, right? The Stone Cold, and I think okay for him to take a step back. One WrestleMania, right?
And then give it to his best friend, Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
But I don't think Sami's gonna win, lah. But
you don't think Sami's gonna beat the long-reigning Gunther IC title?
The ring general. No, I don't think so.
Oh man, but I'm a traditionalist, right? So I like if the IC champ drop his title immediately, the next night he go challenge for the world title.
Oh. So you're seeing this as a means of getting Gunther out of the IC sort of mid-card role and then into the world championship role.
In a way, slowly transition him out. Yeah.
So if Gunther were here, he'll be very disappointed that you think his title.
Oh, bro. He will say, "You don't deserve to be in this ring. The ring is sacred."
Sacred. Well, I loved his line from Raw. I don't know if you guys remember his line. Simple movements for simple people. You remember he said that about the Jey Usos, this one?
Yeah.
Said, I was like, oh my god, that was such a sick burn. I was like, damn, dude is cooking. Let's go.
No, the best part was I think he said something about the fact that you're a tag team wrestler, so you put in half of the effort. But I put in 100%.
No, I wish they would have panned to the other two fellas, Kaiser and Vinci, when he said he put in 100%. I wish they would have done that. But no, they need to make him out to be the guy. You know what? Honestly, why not Gunther versus Sami and not as a feud ender, but a feud starter? We always assume feuds end at WrestleMania, but feuds also start at WrestleMania. So that could be the thing that moves on to the next pay-per-view, Backlash or whatever the hell is coming up.
Honestly, if they do a 3-match series, what Seth and Cody did, so WrestleMania, Backlash, or Money in the Bank, maybe.
Yeah.
And then imagine he lost at Money in the Bank, and then he appears in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
To win the Money in the Bank, and then he can cash in for the world title, so we can officially see Gunther in the world title scene.
Yes.
The fellow who has the Money in the Bank haven't even cashed in. You're thinking about the next Money in the Bank already. What the hell?
Move on, expire already, finish already.
Can you imagine? He will be the first fellow who forgot to cash in.
Yeah, lama, I forgot.
Expiry date. Oh shit!
I haven't used my voucher.
Okay, wait. Then I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you all saw Roman Reigns' X account. He said he's gonna be at Australia. He's gonna be in Perth.
Yeah.
Ooh, he just announced it?
Yes, he made a tweet about it, right? So
okay.
that means something has to happen, right?
Yes.
Of course. Okay, I can probably bet, like, maybe I cannot bet a lot of things, but I can probably bet that The Rock will appear at Elimination Chamber somehow.
Really?
I think so.
Yes,
What?
I think so. I believe so. Yes.
Bro, you're huffing the copium, bro. I think he won't, bro.
Ooh.
I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I think he will take his private jet, fly that 23 hours, appear, raise some eyebrows, make Perth a lot of money, make WWE very happy, and then go back.
But what will he do? Because Cody is only going to be on the Grayson Waller, so there's no match to interfere. No,
Bro,
you know.
Yeah.
they can go officially announce the tag team match for first night of WrestleMania. I'm just saying.
What?
Right. So that is the rumor, right? The tag team match.
Okay, so from some Reddit threads, you know, they are fantasy booking the shit out of this event, right?
like we are not like that.
Yeah, we are not. So apparently they want to make both nights like must see, and they want to feature The Rock on both nights somehow.
But okay, if you have The Rock tag with Roman on night one, why would he turn on Roman the second night? You know what I mean?
Okay, so hear me out, right? So tag team championship, the dream tag team match as a way of a homage to WrestleMania 1, which the main event was a tag team match, right?
Sure.
They have, Roman and The Rock versus Seth and Cody. They have that big blow off, and then on the second night, they can have all the respective champions defend their titles. Yeah. So technically, they can still tell the story of Seth being Cody's shield, but also Seth having his own storyline defending the title against whoever, Drew or whatnot, right?
At this point, it has to be Drew. The amount of work Drew has been putting in with his promos, oh my God, can we just acknowledge that?
Yeah, he deserves it. And I think as a longtime fan, I think he deserves that moment to celebrate the title in front of fans after what he did for the pandemic.
This is where I disagree with you guys because
okay,
I'm huffing a lot of copium here. I'm hoping that CM Punk actually recovers.
Oh man, I'm a CM Punk fan. I'm so devastated that he didn't, he got injured. It should have been his match with Seth, to be honest.
Right.
It was such a shame, but I mean, we've seen the surgery video. He's legit injured lah.
Well, isn't Seth injured also? That's the other thing. It's like
no, but I feel like they can mask Seth's injury long enough for him to wrestle or work a match at WrestleMania.
And now you're calling for him to wrestle 2 matches. So if you think about it, the way you booked it, right? You got Seth on night 1 in a tag match. Fine, you can mask him. You can mask The Rock. I think The Rock will need a lot of masking because he cannot do a full match. You saw he got blown up doing a couple of moves to Jinder already.
Yeah. But okay, so I see how all this can work out, right? So they have the tag match. Seth is protected from his injury. Seth and Drew opens night 2, but it's a complete squash. Drew squashes Seth for the world title, and on commentary, CM Punk is the guest commentator. So the match ends. Drew has the title. He looks directly in the eyes of CM Punk. It's like, this is waiting for you.
Oh,
I like it.
So hands down, right? I feel like Seth has held the title for way too long already. I thought it was absolute nonsense that Shinsuke beat him so badly he still got up.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Poor Shinsuke.
But yeah, Seth definitely needs to drop the title. Like, there's no doubt about it because as a performer as well, he needs to go and heal his body. He needs to go and have his surgery and stuff like that. You know, so even if you don't look at it from a storyline perspective, he doesn't need the title anymore.
Yep. And secondly, the tag team match happening on night 1, main eventing, right? They can tell the story of the bloodline beating up Seth and Cody,
aggravating his injury,
one thing, but also making it seem even more unlikely. Like, Cody lost on the first night. I don't think he can beat Roman Reigns on the second night. So now the confidence is really, really high for the bloodline, but that's when they pull the trigger at the second match.
So but see, the logic doesn't make sense then when The Rock turns on Roman. Like, why would he? If the night before they went to war together, brother in arms, and he beats up Cody, and then the next night, I'm going to help Cody. That doesn't make sense anymore.
What if they are doing a slow build, right? Like, he's not turned on Roman yet. It's just slowly over time. Maybe Roman is just annoyed that The Rock is just taking over his spot, right?
Yeah.
Then they slowly build up to next year's WrestleMania.
Wow.
So my favorite Game of Thrones drama is when WWE melodrama is like, every time Evolution is talking shit about Batista, then Batista in the next room can overhear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would think, right, well, now they all fine and dandy, kumbaya, all best friends, right? But then like they might possibly shoot some backstage segments where like, when The Rock is out of earshot and then Roman Reigns is like,
Oh, they talk shit.
you all remember, you all still report to me. I am the true
Yeah.
tribal chief. There has been some rumors. Okay, again, I know Reddit is a cesspool, but remember Peter Maivia, The Rock's grandfather, his nickname?
High Chief.
Hi, Chief. Oh.
So, in between them being kumbaya and best friends, The Rock quietly whispering to Solo, whispering to Jimmy, he might be the tribal chief, but I am the high chief of this
Wow.
bloodline.
Mm.
So is this power play that is secretly trying to get both of them, trying to win the loyalty of their, people? Eventually, they might still be able to keep it on the same page for the first night. But then things might explode on the second. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay, I see.
I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hire me, Miss WWE. Come on.
No. What I feel like this is a good sign of is the fact that nobody can predict this, right? And that's when wrestling is at its best. We don't know what the heck is going to happen.
So enjoyable.
Yeah. So we
agreed.
get taken along for the ride and we just enjoy it. Okay, so coming back to this, Drew McIntyre wins, goes on to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, night 2.
That's my prediction.
Safe bet.
So Elimination Chamber sounds like a very predictable damn PLE. Like
It's not the result, it's the journey, Mr. Young.
okay, fine. Yeah, no, I concede that. Yes.
We're still gonna cheer at the end of the night when Drew wins, right?
For sure. I think everyone's gonna cheer for Drew. Yeah. Yeah.
We can definitely predict Logan Paul will do something crazy, stupid. It will cause a viral moment. Randy Orton will RKO somebody out of the blue. Bobby Lashley will smile and just be there.
I hope you're ready at fun because
Yeah.
live right in the chamber, right, we probably cannot see anything.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, damn sad. Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna watch it on the WWE network at the same time.
What the hell? Look up
we,
at the big screen the whole time.
we missed one more segment from EC. I mean, we talk about it very briefly.
Oh, the Grayson Waller.
Where do you think they're gonna place that segment? Is it gonna be after EC? Is it gonna be the main event? What do you guys think?
Middle lah, cannot be
the
main
middle,
event.
right?
Yeah.
The toilet break.
But what if that is the stage where Roman Reigns and The Rock will appear and they officially announce that dream match for WrestleMania? Don't you think? First of all, it makes sense from a Perth perspective because I'm gonna get my Australian wrestler on the main event of the show somehow. I don't know.
Grayson Waller, yeah, he is a local guy, but he's not a main event guy. You know what I mean?
And Bronson Reed is not showing up also.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think Bronson Reed just sell hot dogs outside the stadium lah.
Maybe. I mean, okay lah. Cody and Seth are main event guys, so since they are the guests, I guess you could, or maybe you have them kick off the show. I don't know, man.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Ooh, Cody.
But I think in this case, like the event is short enough so you can have it in the middle as a good break between the matches because you can't have it over the chamber, right? It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, I don't think the chamber should end the night and
Yeah.
it should be just like, oh, big moment, Drew wins, whatever.
Yeah. Well, either way, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun over there.
Yes.
My goodness, yes. Please try and find each other so we can take a selfie together.
All right, we will. And we will. So the plan is, Mr. Yang, I know you're gonna like live stream on your own.
Yeah.
Probably on Twitch.
I'll do a watch along on my Twitch channel.
Yeah, so here on Kick to the Gut, we have a Discord channel as well for the community. So Sean, if you and your bros, whatever, want to join and talk wrestling, feel free to join us on that Discord channel. So so we will definitely react live and post stuff. So I think the on our side, the podcast will do our part to kind of show what's happening at Perth. So maybe there might be a SGAG meme from Elimination Chamber. I hope they're gonna have something cooking over there, bro.
I'm sure Sean has ideas. I'm sure you have ideas.
I'm on holiday, like guys.
Oh, don't want to work.
Don't work. Okay, I will come and find you. I will interview directly, so you don't have to worry. Just talk with me.
I will make sure that my followers live vicariously through my IG stories as I post for the chamber.
Nice.
Awesome. I love
There
it.
you go.
I love it. Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you so much for being on the show today, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for you really cannot just talk wrestling like this in front of to a lot of people, and use all these exact terms, right? People don't get it, right? But it's been so refreshing, I love it.
This is exactly how Farhan Foreign and I began. We literally were sitting around in the canteen, just hey, you wrestling fan, right? And then we ended up sitting there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And
It was
every
was like a
episode
work
of the
thing.
podcast, I'm like, okay, we need to keep it short, right? We don't have a lot of time. We keep it to 1.5 hours, and then 3 hours later.
I'm pretty sure this podcast is going on 3 hours.
Yeah, no,
So all I can say is good luck to edit this podcast down.
bro, we don't edit, bro. It's all
No, it's all
all
live.
out there. You
It's
said
all
what you
there.
said. It's
So
out there.
the 15 minutes of us shitting on Kate is gonna be not gonna
Oh
be
yeah, 100%. In fact, I might cut that out and make
Make that into a TikTok. Back then we tag Kete. Oh, you're gonna start shit. Okay, no. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, thank you so much, man. I mean, it's very
Yeah, man.
refreshing to have you on the show. If you can just let people know that there is a Singapore podcast
Yes.
through your own platforms, that would be great. Get all the community together to talk
Yeah.
about wrestling.
So before we talk, I want to actually like take an IG story of this if you're okay.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Go for it, man.
So I can
I
tell people I'm gonna be on this podcast.
can promote the shit.
Awesome. I can promote the Rock.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, what's up?
Okay,
Wait, is it a photo or video?
I just took a photo.
Oh, okay.
Okay, can. Whichever, man. Feel free. Just tag us, man.
I'll tag you all.
Awesome.
Awesome.
No,
Awesome.
but Sean, thank you so much for spending your Sunday with us. We really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all being so hospitable, so open, and just chatting. It's been a great 2 hours. Wow, we talked for 2 hours.
Yeah, we talked for quite a bit.
It's a podcast, bro. It's not short form videos.
And I hope this episode does more to help wrestling be more mainstream in Singapore, right?
Once again, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm sorry we took up so much of your time
Nothing
talking
to
wrestling.
apologize for. This was fun, guys. Thank you so much.
Appreciate.
Your
Thank
Sunday
you.
also.